This is the challenge that takes you from a complete beginner to everything you need in order to land your first AI client in 7 days. From running our own AI business to $1.8 million a year, and from building this community, which is now one of the largest school communities on the platform, we have found a different approach to work much better. You can see what results people have gotten after completing the 7-day challenge. You got Ethan closing an 8-figure solar company. You got Eric with a $180,000 deal signed. You got Sterling with a first deal signed of $1,500. It's time to start winning. To understand how to build an AI agency, we first have to understand what an AI agency actually is, and probably more importantly, what an AI agency is not. I'm going to make this very, very clear for you. An AI agency is not a thing where you get rich quick. If you're looking for the next thing and you believe you're going to be a millionaire in the next week, then these videos are not for you. This is about how to actually build a real valuable business, and building that simply takes more than a couple of weeks, more than a couple of months. And an AI agency is not a thing where you just mention that you are selling AI, then all of a sudden everyone buys. A lot of beginners think that, but I'm going to be completely honest with you, that is not what an AI agency actually is. Even though that you've enrolled in this 7-day challenge, building an AI agency takes way more than just a week, at least to master. And that is what we're trying to do. You should try to become the best in your space. And the most important thing that an AI agency is that it's not a thing where you only need to learn the tech. When you search AI agency on YouTube or on Google, all you will find is guides showing you how to build the tech. And this means that what most beginners actually lack when they go out and try to land their first client is the sales part. An AI agency is a business, and that's why you also need to learn basic business principles in order to build an AI agency. Great. Now you know what an AI agency is not. And if you're the type of person that thinks you're going to be making $10,000 a month your first week, then you can just go and leave these videos. These videos are not for you. Because let me explain what an AI agency actually is. An AI agency is a real business. And in a real business, you are only paid for the value that you provide. And in order to provide a lot of value to a specific client, this is something that takes years to get really, really good at. You can get the basics in a 7-day challenge like this, but it's not something that you learn in just a couple of weeks. It has taken us years in order to get where we are right now. The last thing you have to understand is that in an AI agency, it's not the actual AI part that is the most important. It's the value that you provide. It's the results that AI gets. Other businesses don't really care about how you get results. What they care about is the results that they actually end up getting. A lot of beginners, when they start out, they just think, okay, I'll be selling AI and that is my business. No, you are in business of providing real results for your clients. And if you learn to do that, then you'll never have to worry about being broke again. But what is value actually in a business? Value in business is basically how much pain you can relieve, being overweight, and all the things that are connected to that pain, like being tired all the time, not being able to play with your kids. And when we calculate how much pain we are relieving, we look at how big of a pain is it actually. For example, if you found the cure to cancer, you would solve the pain of people dying, a massive pain, which also means that the cure of cancer is worth a lot. But there's a couple of other things that are also very important when we talk value in business. The first one is how easy it is to actually get those results. Let's take the example of the pain of being overweight. If you compare something like a liposuction to a gym membership, a liposuction just requires you to lay on a table and then they do the rest. Where a gym membership requires you to work out every day, eat well, sleep well, in order to get the result of not being overweight anymore. The second thing that makes something more valuable in business is making it as fast as possible. A liposuction is only a couple of hours, where a gym membership requires you to stay consistent and do all of those things over months. And the third thing that can increase value in business is the likelihood of success. In a liposuction, them removing fat is almost guaranteed. Where if you look at the percentage of how many actually get fit after starting a gym membership, it's below 20%. So if you look at all of those things, how easy it is, how fast it is, and what the likelihood of success is, together with what pain it actually relieves, then you can calculate how much value you are actually providing and also what prices that you can charge. And that is also why a liposuction in the US is like $5,000, where a gym membership is only like $50 a month. If you want to go more in depth about this, then all of this is based on Alex Hormozi's books. you should definitely go and read those. Because this is crucial to understand. We talk with thousands of AI agencies every week. And the biggest mistake that I see people making is that they build something that is cool with AI, but not valuable. And that's also why those AI agencies are not able to charge a lot for their services. So when you make the decision of what AI services that you actually want to be selling, you need to check off this checklist. It needs to be easy for the client to do. You need to do it relatively fast. It cannot take years to get results. And you want to increase the likelihood of success by having a bunch of testimonials. When you do those things, then you increase the value of your service and the perceived value of your service, which means that you can charge a lot more. Like I mentioned earlier, AI agencies are not a get-rich-quick scheme, which also means that you can't ignore basic business principles when selling AI services. When it comes to the AI space and running an AI agency, there's usually two ways that you can provide value. The first one is saving time. AI is so great because it can take a lot of those boring tasks from people and then automate it and make it easier. And that saves time. And when you save time in a business, you also save on payroll and you make them more money. And that brings us to the second part, which is making money. You can also use AI implemented the right places in order to increase sales. Here you don't save time, but you directly make them more money. And you can charge the most amount of money if you can find services that do both of those. Saves them time and makes them money. Let me give you an example of an AI service that you can sell. You could sell website widgets to local businesses. A website widget takes the traffic that comes to their website, answers questions, books in leads, which converts more of their traffic to their website. That makes them more money, but it also answers support questions that otherwise would end up in their support, and thereby it also saves them money in payroll because a human doesn't have to respond to those questions. Voice agent is very similar, because this agent can pick up calls out of business hours, which makes them more money because it can book people in when they are not working. On top of that, it also, just like the website widget, answers support questions and thereby also saves them manpower, saves them in payroll, saves them money. I get this question all the time. Okay, I've built an AI service. How much do I actually charge? We live by the 5x rule, which says that you want to give all clients that you have a 5x return on their investment on what they pay you. Let's say that you have a support agent that answers all support emails, which cuts the need of support agents in half. The business that you're working with right now, they have 2 support reps, but now they only need 1 because of this agent that you implemented. Usually a support rep is paid, let's say, $3,000 a month. This new agent now saves them $3,000 a month. And from the 5x rule, we can charge 1/5 of that. And that means that our agent could be sold for something like $600 a month. This is something that the client would be very, very happy with. The great thing about AI agencies is that you can implement something once and then it just scales. It takes almost the same time replacing 1 support rep than it does replacing 100. And that's what's so great about running an AI agency, because it allows you to do this. Let's take the same example, but now you're more well known. And now you're working with a much larger business and they have 100 support reps. Again, this AI system cuts the need for support reps in half, which means now there's 50 support reps that they don't need anymore. Each agent is being paid $3,000. That's $150,000 a month your AI system is now saving them. And from the 5x rule, you can charge 1/5 of that, which means that from implementing that same system, you would take home $30,000 a month. Thinking this way of how do we provide as much value as possible together with the 5x rule is exactly how we scale our AI agency to over $40,000 a month. And it's also the exact way that we run our business now at $150,000 a month. Together in this 7-8 challenge, we're going to build your AI agency together. But first, before we do that, we have to set your expectations, and we're going to do that in the next module. So I'll see you there. Here's how not to fail with your AI agency. And the best way that you can figure out how not to fail is to look at the number 1 reason why people fail in the AI agency space when they start their AI agency. And that one thing, drum roll, is that beginners, when they start out, have way too high expectations. And it's not really their own fault, because here is how it happens. The reason that you're here right now is probably because of social media. So you probably also see it. All over social media, people tell you that it's possible to make $10,000 a month your first week of doing some business model, day trading, crypto, YouTube short automation, and also in the AI agency space. And what then happens is that beginners, they start their business and they don't get the same results that was promised to them. And this results then in giving up way too early. They find the next new flashy business model. They think, okay, this doesn't work, maybe this will work. And they just repeat that pattern. And this means that they never get good at anything. In the last module, we talked about how important it was to provide a lot of value. And the reality is that you cannot provide a lot of value when you just start out, because you're still a beginner. And this also means in order to provide a lot of value and get paid a lot, you need to get really good at what you do. You need to become the best in the space. And this also means that you have to stick to something. This right here is the excitement curve. And when you just start a business, and this really is any business that you start, you're going to be really, really excited. You're going to think, this is the next big thing. This is the thing that's going to make me a millionaire. All of a sudden, you realize all of the hard things that you have to do, all of the hard things, all of the troubles, all of the problems with the business model that you have to solve in order to make it work. So your excitement level drops to down here. And this is where most people give up. Because then they think, okay, this doesn't work, I couldn't make it work. And the reality is that they're not very good at what they do yet. Because if they stay with it, they're going to figure out problems, they're going to be a little more excited, they're going to run into the next problem, they're also going to fix that. And all of a sudden the curve looks like this. And they actually get good at what they do. You, right now, are at this top right here. You're probably very, very excited about starting an AI agency. But just expect that when you run into problems, your excitement is going to drop to right here, where most people, they give up. And this means that they never get to reach this stage, because they never actually get good at anything. So they either give up here, or they go to the next business model. They find something new on social media, and then they repeat the exact same pattern. They do the exact same thing again. And this just keeps repeating with all of the business models that they try. So they never get good at anything. And they think, okay, this online business thing doesn't work. I'll just go back to my 9 to 5. And I don't want that to happen for you. Because those people that give up would probably be killer entrepreneurs if someone had just told them to set their expectations right from the start. Entrepreneurs that actually understand how to provide value to society. And that is also what my goal is. My goal is to help as many bright entrepreneurs at the start of that journey, because you then go out, you solve problems, you get compensated, you make the world a better place. But in order to do that, you have to understand that the reality is that it takes time in order to get good at something. And this is called the 7-day challenge, but it's only designed to help you start. Getting really good at something takes not days, not weeks, not even months, but years. And this also means that you probably won't be making $10,000 a month, a doctor's salary, within 1 month of starting a business. Because the reality is, before a doctor can go out and make a doctor's salary, he has to take 10 years of education. In some countries, go into debt in order to get that education to make $10,000 a month. You can't expect to provide that same amount of value to society in just a couple of weeks. And I know that this happens because that's exactly what I did as well when I started out. In my wallet, I always carry around this note. And it's kind of messed up at this point, but it says, I'll accumulate and build my agency to $10,000 a month by the 1st of September. At the time, I was just starting out, and September was 6 months away. So I wanted to make $10,000 a month within 6 months. I thought that was very doable. Something I did understand, though, was the value aspect, because below that I wrote, in return for this, I'll give a marketing service to the best of my abilities, not only running ads, but in all aspect of helping local car detailers grow their business. As the first business I started, a marketing agency for car detailers. And I even wrote some manifestation stuff that I probably don't believe in that much now, but I wrote, I believe I have this money in my possession. I can see it in front of my eyes. I can touch it. It's now awaiting transfer for the service I intend to give in return for it. I understand the value right here. Plot twist, 6 months later, I didn't make $10,000 a month. I didn't make $5,000 a month. Our agency made $2,000 that month. Making $10,000 a month with my business took actually way longer than that. It took an entire year. And that was the business making $10,000 a month. And that wasn't all profit. And me being paid out $10,000 a month to me directly actually took me over 2 years to accomplish. And this also means that if you're looking for the next get rich quick thing, then this video course is not for you. You should probably just leave these videos. But if you're looking to actually help people and provide real value with AI, then I'll see you in the next module. There's one thing that determines if you're going to have an easy time running your AI agency or if you're going to have a really, really hard time. And that one thing is the niche that you choose. In this video, we're going to talk about how to choose a good niche and, more importantly, how not to choose a bad niche where you're going to want to jump out of a window. I call these niches the no-goes. Warren Buffett famously said that it doesn't matter how hard you row, it matters what boat you row in. And that is what your niche determines. These are niches like real estate, solar, roofing, clinics like med spas, dentists, chiropractors. Those are also in the no-go. Gyms are also in the no-go. I wouldn't recommend coaches either. The reason that these are no-goes is because if you choose one of these industries as a complete beginner, you are making it much, much harder on yourself. And can you guess why? These industries, every time, you've probably seen it, every time you search up on YouTube and you see an AI agency video, it's usually one of these industries that they are talking about. And what does this do? It means that every new beginner that comes into this space goes after these industries. And this means that when you start cold calling and you start reaching out to companies, they put you in the same bucket as everyone else. Instead, let's look at the industries that I'll recommend you to go after. This is industries like electricians and plumbers and pest control. These weird industries like garbage removal as well as mechanics. I've never watched a video online for how to service mechanics. Could also be things like cleaning services. The reason for that is that these industries are very saturated online, and their mom are talking about creating an AI agency for these industries. On top of that, these industries are nice to have. Having solar panels, having a better house, it's all something that's a nice to have. It's not an urgent service compared to these industries right here, like electricians, plumbers, pest control. It's something where you go on Google and you search them up and you want to get it fixed as soon as possible. Why is this a good thing? Well, you got to remember what it is that we are selling and the value and pain that we can provide with AI. Because AI is really good at speed. So if you can install an AI, and this is both over WhatsApp, text, Instagram, voice agents, website agents, that increases the speed, how fast someone can get booked in or get a quote in these industries, then you're providing a shit ton of value. This doesn't mean that you cannot get results with those industries. Of course you can. Our AI agency is now more broad, but we used to mainly target solar companies. But we also began our AI agency 2.5 years ago. The market has changed a lot. There are now more AI agencies on the market. However, I'm now going to show you some scenarios where it actually doesn't really matter what industry you go after. You're going to crush it no matter what. All right, let's get one thing straight. Just like life, business is not fair. It means that we each have different advantages and disadvantages when we go into business. So we have to figure out what advantages do we actually have. Let's take me, for example. An advantage I have is that I'm from Denmark, so I know Danish. This means that I could go after the Danish market when it comes to selling services. And the Danish market is not the best market out there. It's not the market that has the most amount of money, but it's still a very good market and it's going to be way less saturated. So if you have a unique advantage that you're from some country that's not the best market, but still a good market, a good place to start would be offering services in that market. One thing that you need to watch out for, though, is the compliance in each market and also how ready the market is for AI. The Danish market is definitely not as ready as the US market. And Denmark is also in the EU, so there's some compliance stuff, GDPR, that you have to take care of and know about. Selling voice agents in Denmark might not be the easiest because 1, the voice agents are not that good in Danish yet, and 2, you usually need to say the AI needs to mention that it's an AI. You don't have those issues in the US. Instead, I could be creating text automations, which will probably perform a lot better in Denmark. Another advantage that you have that you might not think about is that you probably already know businesses. A lot of the people I see succeeding with an AI agency actually got their first client via a family member. Think about the businesses that you engage with in your life. Let's take me for an example. I have a pretty good relationship with my hairdresser that works in a hair salon. I could talk about implementing AI services for them. I also recently had some pest control issues, so I also know a pest control guy. I also have an electrician in my WhatsApp, so I can reach out to him as well. I have a house cleaner, and I also know a pool guy. And then I have my favorite restaurant where they know me as well as a landscaping or gardening company. Just from living my life, I have a whole network of businesses that I can just chat to, ask them what they need, what are they dealing with. And a lot of beginners, when they start their AI agency, completely miss this. Start a conversation. You don't have to do it salesy at all. You just say, well, I run this little business. Do you want to explore what we can do for you? And because you're already their client, a lot of the time they want to help you out as well. That being said, though, don't expect to make $10,000 a month just from utilizing your network. Using a network is about getting the chance of actually getting good at what you do. So you can offer discounts, you can do work for free. The only thing that you care about in the start is testimonials and experience. Don't worry about the money yet. Something that you hear a lot on YouTube as well is that you should only choose one industry. Kind of agree with that because, like we talked about, you need to be able to provide as much value as possible to the clients that you work with. That being said, especially in the AI space, you can find industries that are similar. Pest control, plumbing, electricians are all industries where people call them up and say, hey, I have this issue, can you come fix it? You can find one solution that is valuable in all 3 industries and then expand your market. So don't worry about only choosing one industry. Find a type of business and just ensure that the service that you're providing is actually valuable in those businesses. It's time to take what you have learned and actually choose your industry. Write the things down of the advantages that you have and the niche that you're going after, because you'll be using that in the next video. Now we're getting into the stuff that we should charge money for, because this is literally the one thing that's going to make you outcompete every other beginner in the AI agency space. Because the reality is that most people just starting out are not going to see these videos, which also means that they're not going to know this thing, which is going to make them go into the AI space with the completely wrong approach. What I'm talking about starts with this quote right here, which I absolutely love. It is by Alex Amosi, which says, do so much hard work that it would be unreasonable not to succeed. What do I mean by this? Well, I saw this firsthand. Last year, before I even started posting content, I tried to help a friend start his own AI agency. We tried to help a friend start his own business. We gave him interested leads from our ads. We even paid for his Go High Level website, so he didn't have that many costs starting out. We paid for his SMS costs. And of course, he had direct access to me and Oliver, so we could answer any questions he really had. He had everything he needed to succeed, except one thing. He simply didn't do the unreasonable amount of work it takes to start in order to succeed. And that's also why he failed and he quit after 2 months. He simply didn't understand this. He didn't understand that you have to get good before you get rich. And that's also why I stressed so much in the earlier videos that you have to provide value. You are only paid when you provide value. Lucky for you, you're watching these videos right now, which means that you're going to get the things and learn the things that it takes in order to provide value and make your first money. There's 3 things that you have to understand in order to make your first money online. You need to learn how to get in contacts with clients. That is things like outreach, ads. How do you build systems where you consistently get in contacts with potential clients? Number 2, you need to learn how to talk to clients and also how to sell your services. And number 3, you need to learn how to provide a valuable service. And you need to learn all of these 3 things before you make your first money. And there's one simple way that you can learn all of these 3 things the easiest. And that one way is what I call the decoy offer. Number one, we learn how to do a valuable service. That is what you're doing right now. Number two, we find clients that can use that service. Step number three, we provide that valuable service that we have learned. And an important thing here is that it really is valuable. And we provide that completely for free. And already there, if you get a testimonial from the service you provide, that is already a win. But here comes the reason to why we call it a decoy offer. After you've provided a service for free, they now trust you. So now we can upsell additional services. We can simply just ask, what other things are you dealing with? They now trust you, which makes it much easier for you to upsell them additional services. Don't worry too much about the money when you're starting out. Remember what I said. You need to learn those 3 things: how to outreach, how to sell, and how to provide the service. This teaches you all of those 3 things. We don't care about the money when we're just starting out. We care about the experience that we get, the skills that we learn, because those are the things that we keep forever and can keep profiting from for the rest of our lives. And here's why I started with that quote from Hermosi. Because if you do an unreasonable amount of work and you do this for, let's say, 50 companies, you will land what I call internet partners. And that is clients that looks like this. These are clients which we have literally had for years, which are small local businesses. You can see this client in total has paid us almost $11,000. This client has paid us almost $9,000. And this client has paid us almost $93,000 from the service that we have provided. And the reason that they stick with us for all of those years is because they trust us. And we have kept upselling additional services every time they needed something done that they didn't know how to do themselves. If you can do that, then in the coming modules, I'm going to show you exactly how to use the decoy offer, how to land your first client, and then how to upsell that client to making your first money. This is when it starts to become extremely valuable. Now we're going into the real valuable stuff, the stuff that I wish that I had when I was just starting my AI agency, because I had to go through a bunch of trial and error, and I'm making these videos for you so you don't have to go through that as well. As I explained in the previous video, this will be all about providing free value and learning the 3 things. How to consistently get in contact with clients to pitch your services, how to sell them on the idea of you helping them with something, and then how to provide that service. You're going to learn how to do all of that in this one video. The first thing we are going to do is that we are going to head to Google Maps and head to a city. Like I explained in the video about choosing your niche, if you are in a country where you speak a language that not that many people speak, that could be a really good place to start. The key is that you start in a city where there's not that many people reaching out. Like who's reaching out to people in Greenville in South Carolina? I zoom in right here on the city. And then in the top left corner, I search for an industry that's good that I want to work with. For example, plumbers. Now we already have a bunch of potential clients that we can reach out to. In this first video, I'm going to show you how you provide free value with a valuable service. And that valuable service is providing a free website to someone that doesn't already have a website. A lot of local businesses think that a website has to cost $2,000-$3,000. You're providing this service for free. You're doing something valuable in exchange for something. I'll show you a quick trick to how to find everyone that doesn't have a website. What we do is that we scroll all the way to the bottom. And you could already now see the people that don't have a website. You can see this Stacks Plumbing Co. They haven't linked their website on their Google Maps, which means they probably don't have that good of a website, or at least it's not in use. Already in this city, there's a couple of potential clients where you could provide a massive amount of value to them. Cool. When you have scrolled all the way to the bottom, you go and search for this Chrome extension, Data Miner Chrome extension. And then you choose this one right here from Chrome Web Store. And then you just click this button right here. This is going to say add to Chrome for you. And you install the data scraper. And then you head back over to Chrome. You click this little Chrome extension icon right here. And that's going to show you all of the Chrome extensions that you have enabled. And then you click on the one that you have just installed, which is the data scraper. This is going to prompt you to create a user first. You can just do that. You can just do that by signing up with your Google profile. And it shows you a bunch of different ways that it can scrape this page. I'm going to choose this one right here, Google Maps List Scrape 2025. You can see there's also pro versions right here. We don't need pro version at all. I just click this one right here and I click on this scrape button. Now it's searching through this page, and you can see it already has started scraping all of these fields. We can see the ratings, we can see the reviews, the category, and also it says email right here, but what it's giving us is actually the website. That scraped all of this, and now I can just click download and download as a CSV file. You can see all of the top ones on Google, they all have a website, but if we scroll down, then you can see we have a couple right here with no website. I like to open this in a Google Sheet. I go to sheets.new, that basically just opens a new Google Sheet, and then I click File, and I click Import, and then I click Upload right here, and then I can choose the file that I just downloaded. I just wanted to replace our current spreadsheet, and click Import Data, and now you can see it imported all of the data from our CSV file right here, and you even have their phone number right here. So already those, I can click out here and I can mark them with, let's say, green. I'm going to reach out to all of these and give them a call. What you also want to do is that you want to find the bad websites in here as well, because local businesses, disclaimer, are not that good at creating websites. I thought there was something wrong with my internet, but this is literally their website that just doesn't load. You can see this, it doesn't load. So I should definitely reach out and tell these guys that their website doesn't work. Let me mark this with, let's say, yellow, just that they already have a website, but it's a trash website. This website doesn't even work. This one as well. Terrible website. No images at all. Free estimates, call us. And it just opens a call. Menu. This is a bad website. If you're reaching out to your own country and you already have a US number, for example, or if I reached out to Denmark, I would already have a Danish number, then you can just reach out with your own personal phone. But if you're trying to target another country and you don't already have a US number, let me show you both how to get the phone number and also how to build the website. And we are actually going to be using the same software for this. We're going to be using Go High Level. And this is also the website that you should be setting up your AI agency website in. So you're both learning how to create a website for your clients and how to create one for yourself, which you're also going to need. And you will also get our AI agency template. That's this one right here. You can see our AI agency is called Shine AI. This one is the exact same, just different colors. So you can just tune the colors and smack your own logo on this. And then you don't have to spend that much time on your own website. There's a couple of ways that you can get Go High Level. Go High Level's current pricing is a little expensive. It does cost $97 a month to get free sub-accounts. That allows you to create free websites. But the good news is that you can start with a 14-day free trial. But the good news is that I have a link that gives you a 30-day free trial instead of a 14-day free trial. I'll drop that link to this, the 30-day free trial, right below this video. There's another option though, because after the first month, it is still quite expensive. It's $97 a month, which might be a lot when you're just starting out. We, in our AI agency, are paying $5,000 per year, which is the highest kind of high level for one reason only. That's because it allows us to do this. We have another community as well, which is called the 1% in AI. And the price tag on that is much lower. It's $39 a month. And inside of this group, you get high level completely for free. What we have done is that we are paying $5,000 a year to Go High Level, which allows us to provide unlimited Go High Level sub accounts. You can see on the standard plan inside the 1%, you get unlimited free high level. But here comes the best part. You also get access to the 30-day challenge that's going on right now. If you complete the 30-day AI challenge, then you get your first payment completely refunded. Just like the tracker that you have for the 7-day challenge, you just get a tracker for the 30-day challenge, which takes you through more advanced stuff. And when you check these off, the score right here on the right side increases. And when you finish this 30-day challenge and you are consistent for 30 days, then you get your first payment, the $39, completely refunded to you. And if you want additional help from me and Oliver, then for $97 a month, you get unlimited help from us. Alright, but let's say that you want your own high-level account, that's not the one inside of the 1%. Here's how you can get an extended free trial. All you do is that you click Start an Extended Free Trial, and that's going to open up this window right here. Then you choose the plan that you want. I'd recommend the $97 a month as a starter, and you write in the card that you want to use for the 30-day free trial. Right, when you've signed up for your 30-day free trial, it takes you to this page, and then we just click here to get started, and that's going to take us to our Go High Level account. The way that Go High Level is structured is that you have two views, basically two levels. At the top level, you have the agency view. This is where you manage agency stuff. And at the bottom level, you have your sub accounts. You're going to be spending most of your time on the sub accounts level. The first thing that we want to be able to do is that we want to be able to call these numbers on this list. So let's say that I'm from Denmark. I want to call companies in the US. I probably need a US phone number. Again, I would honestly recommend that if you are in a country that is a decent market, then that you just use your own phone and that you just call call local businesses. That will build more trust and you're probably going to get better results. But let's say that you are in a country where it's not that good of a market, or you want to target the US because usually they can also pay a little more here. Then we need a US phone number. The way we do that is that we head over to our sub account. This is the sub account for our agency. Later, what you'll do is that you'll have a sub account for your own agency. We can even pin this so this always shows up at the top. And then you're going to have a bunch of clients below that. That is your clients' sub accounts. We head over to settings, and inside of settings, we find the phone system. Right now, we don't have any phone numbers. So to get a US number, for example, I would click add number right here. And you can see it's proposing United States. And here I can find a bunch of numbers, and you can see the monthly price on this is $1.15 a month. So I can choose this number and I can buy it. When I then click proceed to buy, you can see it pops up with this KYC where you have to verify with your ID. When you've done that, then you have a US number. And you can start calling. You cannot start texting with that number yet because you need an A2P registration. For now, we're not going to worry about that because the most important thing is that you can call. But later, you're probably also going to want an A2P registration so you can text with your clients as well. That is how you get a US number. Let's say that you want to target the UK market, for example. To target the UK market, you need what is called a regulatory bundle and an address bundle. You get those by clicking create, getting the address bundle, clicking next, and here you write in your information and your address, just like this one. And then you click submit. Then when the address bundle is accepted, you then also get a regulatory bundle like this one. You click next, and here you choose the country that you are trying to target, like the UK, you sign up as a business, you want a mobile number usually, and then you fill in all of this information. This requires you to have a valid business in order to get a bundle. And that's why I recommend that you usually just use your own phone number and target your own country. When you have your number, then in the top right corner, you can see this green icon up here with a phone icon. We just need to enable the voice on our computer, like this, then click it again. And now you can see we have a small little phone right here that we can use to call potential clients. I can then copy this phone number right here. You then copy this in, you click call, and this is now going to start calling them. And you can see we have a lot of different numbers. Inside of our sub account right here, we have Australian numbers, UK numbers. We basically have a number for every market that we target. And the reason for that is that it's much better to call in a local number. That's going to increase pickup rate a lot. I want to give you a little additional tip because this is something that a lot of people miss. Right in here, we have very qualified leads that desperately need a website. We want to maximize our chances of getting to talk to them. The way we do that is that we call them, of course, and we can call them multiple times if they don't pick up the phone. What I can do is that I can click on this column right here, then right click and click insert column to the right, insert column to the right, insert column to the right. And let's say that I want to call this company at least 3 times until they pick up the phone. Every time I call them, I just hit an X right here, and then I can track on every single one that I've called how many times that I have called them. The second thing is that we want to hit them on as many channels as possible. What I'll do is that I'll copy the business name right here. I'm going to write that into Google. I'm also going to write in the city name. And if we are in the US, I'm also going to write in the state abbreviation. And then I'm going to search for Facebook. Because right here, I found Platinum Plumbing LLC in Greenville. This is their Facebook page. And something that's very weird is that they have a website right here, but if I go to it, it takes us to this random weird website. So what you should do is that you should definitely also message this business as well and send a message like this. Hi, found you on Google Maps, but your website takes me to a weird site. Then what I would do is that I would even go to his website. I would take a picture of this and I would send this in the message as well. And then I would basically just say, is this the best place to ask questions? That is very intriguing. I've shown that I've done my research with this client and now I hit enter and send it to him. And then you try to find their Instagram page. It looks like right here that they have an Instagram page, but it doesn't work anymore. Maybe it's inactive. And when you've tried Instagram, then you hit enter again and you can see, okay, they're also on Yelp. This business doesn't allow messages on Yelp, but if they are on Yelp, then you definitely want to send them a message there as well. It doesn't look like there's any other places that I can contact them. You basically want to enable as many channels as possible to increase the chances of them responding to you. So let's say that you have called a bunch of businesses, you have reached out to them on Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, WhatsApp as well. You basically have 5 channels. You've also sent them a text message as well. You're doing everything you can in order to reach these businesses. And you're doing multiple of these lists every single day. And you finally get someone that says, yes, I would love a free website and I'll give you a testimonial in return. Now it's time to build the website. And the way you do that is that you now create a new sub account. You do that by going back to your agency view. You click this little drop down up here, and then you click switch to agency view. Then you hit under sub accounts right here. You click create sub account, and then you just click create sub account from blank. Go High Level actually has a pretty cool feature where you can just write in a name, then search for Greenville, and then just click add manually right here. Write in the client's first name, and I'm just going to write in some dummy information, John Doe at gmail.com. You of course want to write in real information right here. Let's say that we closed Platinum Plumbing, which is the business I've been looking at, right? The business niche, which is plumber. We write in their business phone. If you have it, then you write in their address. For now, I just write none because I don't have any. Just write none here as well. I just choose South Carolina here. A very important thing is that you choose the right time zone. For now, I'm not going to write in a website. I'm just going to write a random zip code right here. And then we click add sub account. So now we have a sub account for our own AI agency and we have a sub account for the client, which means that we have already used 2 of the 3 sub accounts that we already have. To get unlimited sub accounts for High Level, you pay $297 a month. So you can imagine how stressed I was when I was starting my AI agency, having such a large payment every single month. Now we are on the sub account that we just created for our client. The first thing we do is that we hit under sites right here, and then we go to websites, and then we click new website. You can either start completely from blank, but I would definitely recommend that you start from a template and then click continue. Because Go High Level is providing a bunch of free templates. So I can search for plumber, and you can see I already have a plumbing website right here. I can then click preview and see, okay, do I like this website? I think this website looks pretty good. So if I like it, then I can choose template right here, and then it adds this template to our Go High Level sub account. There we go. This website looks really, really cool. You can see right here with the phone number and email and location, this right here is custom values. So this is based on what we have already given Go High Level. So if I click this little I right here, which is the preview button, you can see that it shows the phone number, it shows the address. The only thing it doesn't show is the email field. So let me just change this. I don't know their email. I could ask the owner for this. I'm just going to write platinumplumber@gmail.com. Of course, you want to insert a real email right here. You can also see they have a bunch of socials right here. I don't really want socials in the top right corner. So I'm probably just going to remove that down right here and then just click this little delete icon right here and delete this section as well. Now I think this looks a little better. I don't want to include socials all the way at the top. That doesn't really make sense in my opinion. But what I do want to change is this logo right here. To create a logo, I recommend that you use Canva. I'll definitely recommend that you use Canva. Click create right here and then click logo. And in the top left corner, you can search for a design. I can search for plumber or plumbing. And here you can see a bunch of plumbing designs that I can use. I think this one is pretty cool. It shows a little wrench right here, which is classic plumbing. Let's go with that one. I want to find out what color this is. And to do that, I can click on this contact us button right here and I can scroll down. I can click on this background color. And if I hover over these colors, I can see the hexi code right here, which is the code for what color it is. So if I hover over the color, it gives me this one right here. So I'm going to copy that and then I can go back into Canva. I can click on this little icon, top left corner. I can click on color, paste in and choose this yellow color. Now it looks like this. I think this looks pretty cool. Something I just realized is that the background right here is yellow. I probably don't want that, so I can change that. I can remove this background image. I think this looks a little better. I make this the color also. And then here I write platinum. And here I write plumbing. There we go. It doesn't take longer than that to create a pretty cool looking logo, I think. What we want to do now is that we want to take a screenshot of this logo. To do this, I'm using a software called Shutter, like this. This is for Mac, but you can definitely find one for Windows also. I then copy this logo that I just created and I go to background remover, the first one that pops up right here. And then I just paste it in. There you can see it removes the background, and then we can click download and in this preview format, because this allows us then to go back into our website click the logo that we want to change, and then click this little image icon right here. Then click upload, and then choose the icon with the removed background. Double click on that one, and there you go. Now it says Platinum Plumbing in the left-hand corner. You can of course change the colors of these sites. You can change absolutely everything. So now we have a phone number, we have a logo, we have the location. I can even click on this little eye right here, and you can see what the website looks like. I think this website is very clean. If I wanted to, I could of course also change the colors. The way I would do that is that I would hover on this right here. I would then mark it all, and then I can change the color to whatever I want really. For now, I'm just going to stick with this yellow color because I think it looks pretty cool. You of course want to talk to the client, what services they provide, what they can show right here. And you also want to make sure that you change the name right here, not to PlumTech, but to Platinum Plumbing. Instead of using these basic images that they already have, that can be fine as a start. But if they on their Google Maps already have some images, I can see they have some right here. What you can do is that you can click Save Image As, and then you just click on the image, choose this icon, click Upload, and then choose the image that you took from their Google My Business profile. Just like this one, and now you've inserted a picture of them. You can move things by hovering over the thing you want to move, and then click these little arrows right here, or this icon right here. I can move this down, for example. This is going to take a little bit to get used to, but as soon as you've created a couple of websites, then it's going to be very quick. You could also change this background image if you wanted to. For now, I'm just going to keep it the same. This is a really good website. Let's say that you don't want an entire section. You could also just hover over this until it shows this screen here, just delete an entire section. Team members is probably not needed. And then remember to also change the logo at the bottom right here. Choose this little image icon and just choose the same logo that we had right before, like this. Right now it says section changes made. That's completely fine. Just save this. Now it changes this section on all the website pages. You can also click this little mobile mode right here and see how it looks on mobile. It looks very good on mobile as well, this template. That's the great thing about building from a template. It's much faster, and you can, if you get good at this, you can build a complete website in just a couple of hours. And of course, you can change the text right here to exactly what you want. You can change anything on this website. Awesome. Now you want to change the other pages as well. You do that by clicking home and then going to the about page right here. Here, of course, you also want to change these sections. You do the exact same thing you did on the other pages. The important thing here is that you build something that is really, really good. So you go ahead and you update all of these pages. Something you'll realize is that under call to action right here, it says that you don't have any forms. Let's go back out of the website builder. Here you also have a complete overview of all the pages on your website. You want to go over to forms and then to builder. And then you click create new. And right here you have a form that takes first name, last name, phone, and email. That is one way that you can do it. You can create your own form. You can also go back and then click add form and then click from templates. That's honestly what I recommend. And then I can search for plumber again. And here you can see this pops up right here. I click choose template and there we go. Now we have a very clean template for plumbing services. And you can see it asks a bunch of questions related to plumbing. It even asks for photos as well. If I wanted to, I could change this button to a color that fits with the website by clicking on it, clicking this little setting, and then going to colors and background. And then I can change this to whatever yellow color that I want. I recommend that we just take the same hexy color code that we used before. And then you can insert that right there. And then we have the exact same color. Remember to click save after you've made changes. So now we have a plumbing lead form. I can then just click back. I can delete the other form that we did because we don't need that one. We only want this plumber lead form. And then we go back into our website. We click plumber. We click edit right here. And then we scroll all the way down to where it says you don't have any forms. We click on this and then we choose right here the plumber lead form. See, if I scroll down, now we have a very long form here to the right. This is probably too many issues. So let's say that we want to remove some of these things. We can then, from the website builder, click edit form. That's going to open the form builder. And let's say that we want to remove some of these things. Let's say that we don't want this right here. How did you hear about us? We can delete that. Accessibility issues. We don't need that. Relevant documents. You could use that. Then click save. You can basically tune and add whatever questions that you want to this form. Just remember to click save every time you make a change. Scroll down, and now you can see we have a very long form, but it looks good. It's getting all of the information that we need. We also need to implement this form on all the other pages. So I go to home, I go to contact right here, and then I insert the same form right here. I choose the plumber lead form that we just created, click save, and then click publish. Cool. So you go through the entire website, you make it look really, really good. You create a very, very good website. It needs to be good. It needs to provide a bunch of value. And this might take some time to learn, but you're learning a valuable skill. This is something. When you learn this, you can just sell as many websites as you need. Definitely a skill that's worth learning. Let me show you one last thing of building the website. When I search for, let's say, Shiny AI, on Google, there's this SEO text. You can see it says Shiny AI boost sales with 10%, about Shiny, try free demo, etc. There's this text right here. You want to make sure that this text says the right thing about the business and that it makes people click on your website. The way you do that is that inside of the Go High Level Builder, you go to this SEO metadata right here. And here you can change all of this. You write a title, you probably write something like plumbing, Greenville, best plumber in town. For the description, it's a good idea to head over to ChatGPT and just ask it, write me a short SEO description for platinum plumbing in Greenville. Because ChatGPT knows how to create a good description. That's good enough for now. So we write that in our description. Now you can see it looks like this. That is pretty good. You could also add keywords. You could also add authors, tags, etc. For now, we don't need to do that. I just click update metadata and click save. You want to go through this entire flow and create a complete website. When you've done that, then you hop on another call with the client and you show them the website. The way you do that is that you hop on a Zoom call. By now, you've been on 2 calls, right? The first Zoom call, you sell them the idea of giving them a free website. The second Zoom call is where you show it to them. The way you do that is that you hop on a Zoom meeting or a Google meeting, and then you click on this little preview icon, and you basically just show them their website. And this is one of the most important steps because you want to get that wow effect. Like, damn, that's pretty good. You're giving me this for free. Awesome. On this call is also where you ask for the video testimonial. The way you do that is that hopefully they have their camera on. Then you head over to something like loom.com. This is a screen recording software. You get a free account where you can get up to 25 videos. And then you take a Loom video of them on the call saying, hey, it was great working with your name and your agency name. They made a very nice website for me, and I'm very excited for it. Basically, just get them to give you a very good video testimonial. After they've done that, now it's time to help them implement the website and get it live. Of course, I'll also show you how to do that. We are on a mission right now to help as many aspiring entrepreneurs as possible. Because if we can help them get that first win, that keeps them going. And entrepreneurs is what makes the world a better place. All I ask for in return is that if you know someone that could benefit from this as well, that are thinking about starting their own AI business, send them the link to this school community. You sharing it with a friend, a colleague, a family member would help us massively with achieving our goal. Awesome. I just showed you how to provide a website completely for free to build goodwill to clients. But what do you do with all the businesses that already have a website? From our Google Sheet, you can see that is the majority of them. In this module, I'm going to show you exactly what to provide to these type of clients. It's the exact same process. Now we just don't provide a free website. We provide a free website widget. To create these website widgets, we're going to use BuildMyAgent.io. You could also use other softwares for this. In this guide, though, I'll show you how to use BuildMyAgent, which is actually a software that I am a co-owner of. And that also means if you head over to BuildMyAgent.io/secret, I'll also leave a link for that right below this video, you're going to get a secret offer. It's going to take you to this page right here. Just hit enter because the key is already written in. And that's going to take you to the best deal that you can possibly get for Build My Agent, which is 21% off. And this is for school members only. So I'm just going to click get started on this exclusive deal. And I'm going to write in my email. And if I go to the regular Build My Agent page, you can see it's $25 a month. So you're saving a good amount. This is already a pretty good deal. Something that I should mention though, is that if you are inside of the 1%, you actually get the only 30-day free trial that exists for Build My Agent. And when you use that secret code, when you sign up, then you get your first month completely for free. You get a free trial with Build My Agent. We've tried to combine all of the software costs needed to start an AI agency without it costing multiple hundreds of dollars a month. That's why you get unlimited free high-level sub accounts, so you don't have to pay $297 a month, and a free trial to Build My Agent. And actually, on top of that, you also get access to this site where you get a bunch more software deals, which only the 1% has access to. Like you get Loom, for example, for free for up to 10 users, which means that you can very quickly make that $39 a month payment back. Then you're going to land on this page right here. And the new Build My Agent update just dropped, which is going to make it easier than ever for us to create our agent. We just click inside of here, and then we choose if we either want a sales agent or a support agent. I'd recommend choosing the sales agent for the website because we want to capture leads that we can then sell to. So our AI needs to be good at sales. It needs to be able to handle objections. Then it says, what is the business name? So I'm going to create a website widget for Platinum Plumbing. So I just write in Platinum Plumbing, and then I just write, we provide plumbing services to Greenville and the city, and then just click continue. Now it asks for what information we should give the agent. So I'm just going to click on website, and I'm going to write in their website, which is Platinum Plumbing Greenville. It's going to go through all of the pages and find all of the information that we have on those pages. So I'm going to choose the home page, the About Us page, our services page, and the contact page. And then I'm going to go to the FAQ section, because right here we have a button that says generate FAQs from pages. So I can basically add a bunch of information directly to the prompt just by clicking this. When I do this, it's going to look through the website, gather all of the information in a nice FAQ format. You can see right here, how can I contact? Where is it? All of this information is added to the prompt already without us needing to do anything. Then we click files. And if we wanted to, let's say that we have a product catalog as a PDF file, we could upload that as well. But for now, I think giving the AI information about the website is enough. So I just click done, and then I click continue. Now it's scanning the website, building out that knowledge base for us. Then we can choose how our AI should communicate. I would recommend the friendly, and then we choose what the agent's goal will be. Our agent can either book appointments. If we're doing this for an e-commerce shop, we could have it create sales, or we can have it capture leads. Usually for service-based businesses, the thing that's most important is the leads. So we choose what information we want. We want the name, email, phone number, and address. Maybe we don't need the email really for a plumbing business, but name, phone, and address is necessary. Here we have two options. We can either receive the leads via email, so every time a new lead signs up, we get an email, or we can add them to a Google Sheet. For now, I think the easiest is just to send an email. So what will happen is when someone signs up on the website widget, an email is just sent to the business owner. This would be the email of the owner of the business that needs to receive these leads. For now, I'm just going to write in my own emails so I can check that the emails are sent correctly, and I'm going to click add. Now it will generate a question flow specific to our service. The question flow is very important because this basically keeps the conversations alive, gathers the right amount of information before it starts collecting the lead information. Honestly, I like only having one question. We kind of just want to have one question and then, okay, here's the information. And I kind of like this one. Is this an urgent plumbing issue that needs immediate attention, or just planning ahead for the future? That's a pretty good question. And now it starts building our agent. Something I get a lot is that you see how easy it is to build AI agents, and then you think, well, how valuable is this when the business could just create them themselves? And the reality is that a very, very small percentage of business owners will dig into that. But you saw the situation of plumbers not having websites. If they don't have a website, do you think they're going to have an AI agent? No. Cool. That takes us to the workspace. And in the middle, you can see we have our AI agent right here. First thing we have to do is that we need to connect our Gmail, because that's how the business owner receives the lead information. So I'm just going to click connect Gmail, authenticate. I'm just going to choose my Google account. There we go. Now our Gmail is connected. I can also, if I want to go in and tune our AI, I could click on this main agent. This opens this window. This opens up this window where I can tune how my AI responds. So I can change the tone of the AI. I can change the language. We can also, if we want to, click on the advanced view right here and then change the prompt ourselves. But that is a bit more advanced. Awesome. It's time to test it. If I go down in the bottom right corner right here, I can test my AI. So I can act like the customer that has a plumbing issue. So I can just write, hi, I have a plumbing issue. Then the AI says, hi there, is this an urgent plumbing issue that needs immediate attention, or just planning ahead for the future? My water doesn't turn warm. To help you get that fixed, could you please share your name, phone number, and the address where you need service? Albert, random number for now. Then it says, thanks Albert, I've got those details down. Is this for a residential home or commercial property? Residential. The AI then says, thanks Albert, I've passed your details to our team and someone will reach out to you shortly to help with your hot water. If I then click logs right here, you can see that it has sent an email. If I then go in and check my email, you can see right here from Albert, an email was just sent. So this AI is pretty good at capturing lead information. What it can also do is that it can answer customer questions, saving on support time as well. If someone writes, how many projects have you completed? It has access to their website, so it can check the number and then continue the question flow. So here it says, hi there, we have completed over 15,000 projects. Is this an urgent plumbing issue that needs immediate attention or just planning ahead for the future? So let's deploy it, shall we? If I click in the top right corner right here, deploy agent, and see I already have a bunch of sub accounts. For you, it's probably going to be empty. So you just click new sub account and then you write in the sub account name. Now we can choose where we want to deploy the agent. You can see we have a couple of options. We wanted to create a website widget, so I'm going to choose that, but you can also deploy this on Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, on SMS even. For now, we're going to choose the website widget and we're going to click continue. Then we're going to name our agent. As a name, I'm just going to call it website agent and then click deploy agent. Inside of the sub account, we can see the conversations that our AI has. We can check the analytics of how many leads it collects. And we can of course also change the configuration for how it looks. The website that we're creating this website widget for is in light mode, right? There's white background. So I think that we should make our website widget in light mode as well. So I just turn on light mode right here. We can also open on navigation, so it auto opens on different pages. We can change the position if we want it. We can change the language of the widget. Let's say that we are creating this for a Spanish company, then it changes all of the text to Spanish. In the suggested responses right here, these are these three right here. That is something I think we should change. Write it like this. I have an urgent plumbing issue. What is your experience? How long have you been in business? And what this does is that it makes it easier for the client to write something, which increases the use of your website widget. Just remember to click save every time you change anything. And the last thing we can change is the branding. So we can change what it says right here. We can maybe call this AI agent. Same with AI assistant. We can call this AI agent. You could also call it Jennifer or like a real name if you wanted to. You can change this button right here to see the previous conversations and to see the new conversations. We're not going to do that for now. And we can also change the icon of this little website widget right here. This text box is honestly pretty good, but let's say that we want to insert their logo. The way you do that is that you right click on the image and then you click copy image address. Then you go to the header, paste this in, click this little check mark right here, and now you can see in the top left corner right now it says plumbing. If we wanted to, we could also add images to this little, instead of this robot in here, and on this website widget. To do that, you just turn on this, use different images, and then you can insert 2 other images. All you have to do now is just click deploy in the top right corner, and that's going to give us this script right here. And this is the way that we can install it on sites. But you can install this script on any website that you want, because basically all website builders allows you to insert a custom code. All I do is that I just go all the way to the bottom and I just add a custom code block somewhere. Then I click open code editor right here. I paste in this script. I paste in this script that we just got, and then remember to click save and publish. Because if I then go to platinumplumbinggreenville.com, you can see in the bottom right corner, we have our website widget. And now it's done. Now we've installed a website widget on this website. This is something I wish someone had told me when I just started my agency, because this would have saved me so much headache, saved me so much time, and made me way more money if I had done this from the start. Because the reality is that most, when they start their AI agency, they have absolutely no strategy whatsoever. And this means that they offer everything to everyone. So every time a new client comes and asks for something very specific, they then build it out for them. And honestly, that can be fine as a start, because in the start, it is a hustle. You're grinding to make your first money. But if you're like me and you keep doing this over a longer period of time, at some point it becomes unscalable. And the reason for that is that you need to do new work every time you land a new client over and over again. Instead, what you want to keep in mind when you build your AI agency is to build a scalable model from the start. This is a model where we can do work once and then profit from that work over and over again. And to build that consistent model, we need consistent offers. Here's exactly how you build that scalable model. I've split this up in 4 different levels, because when you're just starting out, all I want you to worry about is talking to client and offering either a free website if they don't have one, offering either a free website if they don't have one already, or a free website widget if they already have a website. This is, like we talked about, the decoy offer, just to get your foot in the door. And the entire point of this offer is to drive traffic, drive interest, and build trust. And the only price that the client pays for this is a testimonial. Optionally though, what you can give them is a little bonus offer where they pay something very low, like $29 a month, where you then say that for that price, you then cover their hosting and their domain. Otherwise, you know the process. They would have to go in, buy a domain, and then connect it, which is a lot of headache for them. So you can give them a little small bonus offer on top of your decoy offer that is very low, like $29 a month, that just pays for the software and pays for the domain. A lot of business owners are going to say yes to this offer. When you're just starting out, that is all you need to worry about now. You need to go to Google Maps like I showed you, use the scraper, get all of their numbers, and then just start calling and hitting them on absolutely every single channel. That's all you have to worry about now. When you have your first couple of free websites built, then you progress to level 2. Here you still have your intro offer, so you're still doing outreach, you're still reaching out to new clients with that low price of something like $29 a month just for hosting and domain. But you also have the second offer where they get everything in offer 1, but this is where you have built trust and now can upsell additional AI services. This is things like omni-channel AI, so AI on all channels. You can also install AI on, of course, their website widget, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. You can build an entire AI suite of AI agents that responds to all of their channels. So when you've provided free websites and you have upsold them to the second offer, then you progress to level 3. Here we have the exact same offer 1 and 2, but we have now offered a third option. This is just an example, but here you can add additional services, like a voice agent, for example. They still get everything in offer 1 and 2, but when they pay a little more, then of course they get more AI services. And for that, you can charge $297 a month. So when you're done with level 3, you progress to level 4, and here you can add another thing that they might need, which could be something like Google ads or Facebook ads. This is all an example. Of course, the services that you provide needs to be valuable in your niche. The entire idea of having multiple offers is that you can figure out, okay, what exactly do they need, and then provide the right solution to them, but still having built out offers where you have built out the agents before, so you can copy paste that work that you have already done. That is the only way to build a scalable AI agency model. One of the main mistakes that I see beginners make when they just start the AI agency is that they give a price to the client, let's say $400 a month. Then the client says, I don't know, it's a little bit too much. And then the AI agency owner that is a beginner says, well, we can also do it for $300 a month or $200 a month. So they cut down their price. The problem with that is that as soon as you start lowering your price, you dilute yourself. There's a saying in business that you don't negotiate with price terrorists. You don't want to dilute your own value. As soon as you start lowering the price, in your prospect's mind, they now think, okay, this service is not worth that much. Instead, when you have multiple offers, you can downsell. So let's say that you're pitching offer 3 right now. Someone is saying that they get a bunch of calls and that they would like a voice agent to pick up those phone calls. You then give the price, which is $397 a month, and they say, that's a bit too much. Instead of selling it for less, you say, that's totally okay. You can also get this offer. You can downsell where you don't get the voice agent, but the AI still saves you a bunch of time on texting. Would that be interesting? So the key thing here is that you don't offer the same product for less value. Instead, you offer a less worth product for less value. Another mistake that I see beginners make is that they land a bunch of clients on, let's say, this offer right here, $197 a month. And they are happy, they're getting a couple of clients, but the reality is that they can be making so much more very easily if they had a scalable model like this. Because when they start getting results and the client is happy at $197 a month, they then have a call with the happy client. And what do? Well, they start upselling. They say, it has been a great success implementing AI on your DMs. What do you think about adding a voice agent as well to save you some more times in your calls? What beginners don't understand is that it's much easier to sell to someone that you've already sold once already. So a lot of beginners are leaving a bunch of money on the table by simply not upselling their services to higher tiers and more monthly recurring revenue. That is what we call an upsell. And another very cool thing when you lay out the offers like this, let's say that the client says that they would like more leads. You then pitch Google Ads and you pitch the $597 a month package. Maybe this is way too much for them and they can't afford this. Now, when you just offer the $197 a month, you have now anchored the price. Their baseline is paying $597, which makes $197 seem like way less. That is called a price anchor. I hope you're starting to understand how powerful it is to have a model like this. If you look at airplanes, when you book an airplane ticket, there's a reason why after you've already paid, they then say, do you want to choose your seat? And you often pay a little more for that. Or do you want to upgrade to premium? Do you want to choose your seat? And you pay a little extra for that. And what this does is that it increases the amount of money that you spend with that airline. That is what it's designed to do. But again, as you're just starting out, you are not at level 4 yet. You are at level 1, which means all you should be focusing on right now is the Google Maps method. Find businesses that don't have a website and pitch free websites. Find businesses that already have a website but no website widget and provide free website widgets for them. And you can then optionally charge something very low, like $29 a month for the hosting and setting it up. Congratulations, you have already watched more than most people do of a free course like this. I'm very proud of you. But now it's time to actually do the hard thing and not just consume content. It's time to go out and land your first client. Awesome. I really hope that you find this 7-day challenge valuable and that you actually go out and use the things that I am teaching you. If you wouldn't mind, I would love to know your opinion about this 7-day challenge. You can go to the community page of this free school group and just write feedback on what you think. In the next couple of challenges, we're going to go in more detail about how to outreach and how to sell. And this will be my business partner, Oliver, that does this because he's way better than sales for me. You can, of course, also consider joining the 1%, where you get all of the software that you need, completely free Go high-level accounts, so you save $297 a month. The only 30-day free trial that exists for Build by Agent, the software perks, where you literally get thousands of dollars worth of software savings, all for a low fixed price. Again, if you're interested in that, then there's a link right below this video. Good luck getting your first clients with your AI agency, and I'll see you in the next modules. Awesome. You've now learned how to provide valuable services to businesses. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to set up an AI agency website for yourself so clients can find you on the internet. That's very important. How to install a website widget for yourself, and also how to embed an agent on your website, kind of like a demo window where clients can test your AI without even talking to you. It's going to be a good one. Let's get into it. I'm going to go out back into agency view from the client sub account that we just set up. And then from the agency view, I'm going to the sub account that was set up for our own AI agency. And if you go under sites and under websites, you won't find much. However, I'm going to give you the template that we use for our AI agency, our website, because we know this worked. We've tested a bunch of different stuff, and this format of website works extremely well. So let's start with that. Let's get this template onto your Go High Level account. If you're already a member of the 1%, then this website template will already be inside of your websites. However, if you signed up to your own Go High Level account, then you need to click on this link for the template right below this video. If I go to this link, it will pull up this page. You want to import this snapshot to this account. You just need to click Yes, Import Now. This will install the template onto your account so you can get it. And now under account snapshots, you now see the paid school HL template. Next step is to go under sub accounts, then find your sub accounts that's made for your AI agency, the one that was on the high level account by default. Click these three dots, click manage client, then go top right corner, click load snapshot, then click the one that was imported, this one right here, paid school HL template. Click proceed, click select all, click proceed, and then there's no conflict, so you can just click proceed, write in confirm, and this will import the template. Again, if you are already a member of the 1%, then this is already installed for you. You don't even have to do anything. This will just be on the account by default. Now it will be pushed to our sub account, and it can take a little bit before it shows up, but usually doesn't take too long. So if I go back into our sub account to roofbot.dev, I go to the sites, and then I go to the websites, and I then hit enter. You can now see it says main website right here, but it still says 0 pages. That's because it shows this while it's importing the pages, and this can take a little while. So give it like 5 to 10 minutes, then the pages will be uploaded. There you go. Now it says 4 pages right here, and if I click in on it, then I have the template right here. I can click edit, and now it shows this website template. And you can see it's the exact same that we have for the Shiny website. It's just in different colors. And now, just like you set it up for your client, you can go in and you can insert your own logo by going to Canva. And here I just search for roof. I kind of like this one. This one is kind of cool. I just write roof butts like this. This is a pretty clean logo. Take a screenshot. Remove the background on that screenshot, just like we did in the previous video. Download it. Download as preview. And now I can go back into my website. Click this little icon. Upload the image that we just created, the logo, and there we go. It really doesn't have to take that long to create a logo. Most beginners, when they get stuck in this entire process of creating their website, it takes them multiple days. That is literally just days where you're not doing outreach and you're not actively moving your business closer to the first revenue. You want to do outreach almost straight away, even if it's free services like I showed you, because when you're just starting out, that is really what moves the needle. You can get stuck in this loop of just updating your website and doing small things that might feel productive, but actually isn't. So let me go back into Canva. Let me find out what blue this color is. That's this color right here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back here and then I'm going to change the color. I can add a new color and then I can insert this, click save. There we go. Now this text is this color and then I can also use the exact same color here. Same with this text right here. AI, use the new color that we used. So I'm just going to go ahead and update all of the colors on this website. For these borders and the buttons, you go under style and then you can find this button right here. Same with this button up here. And for these icons under here, here's how it works. This is images and not actual elements inside of Go High Level. So the way that we get these transparent icons is that we head over to Canva and then you just search for one. That gives you this icon right here for one. You make it a little larger. You change the color to what you want. Let's say this blue color. And then I just do the exact same with two. This one, make it the same size. Like that. And we do the exact same thing with free. And we change the color of that as well. What I'll do now is that I'll click download. And then I'm only going to download 1, 2, and 3. Click done, download it. And again, we're going to background remover. I'm going to go back into high level and I'm just going to click this right here. I'm going to click upload and then I'm going to choose the one that was number 1, this one right here. Same with this one right here. Remember to save while you are doing this because it would suck absolutely. It would suck having to do this all over again if it for some reason it doesn't save. So make sure to save manually once in a while. To get this effect right here in the background of this, you also go to Canva. We really like using Canva. And then you create a new design. And I like to use custom. And let's just use something like this. This is a pretty good banner. What you can do is that you can find designs. So if I wanted this in the background, I could add this and I could then download this, right? And if you want a gradient, we can also just choose a background color and we can choose one of these predefined gradients right here, for example. This one is kind of cool. Like you can find gradients that you like, or you can also create your own gradient if you wanted to. So I could change this color to this color to this. That's pretty cool, like that. And then I can just click share, download it like this. And then inside the website, I can click on this, click this little image upload the image, and there we go. Now it's in a cool blue color. So you can change this to whatever color you want just by using Canva. Right here, you only want the industries that you target. So I'm just going to delete some of these. Let's say that I go after solar roofing and siding. These are not the best industries to go after, but it's just an example. Or actually, let's say that I go after plumbers, plumbing, pest control, and electricians. This is my main industries, for example. You can also just have one. Again, we do the exact same thing with these icons that we did before. We head over to Canva. Now I'm just going to delete these because I don't need them anymore. And then you can search for plumber. This icon is pretty cool. Some of these icons are paid where you need Canva Premium. But in my experience, it's honestly pretty worth it. So I'll definitely do it if I was you. You can also find some that are not for premium like this one, for example, if you wanted. You can see if it's Canva Premium with these little crowns right here. Search for electricians. This one is all right. Again, we want to make sure that it's almost the same size. And then we add pest control. Size, almost, good enough. make it the color that you want. I can see this one, you actually can change the color. So what I'll do instead is that I'll search electricians again and find something that I can change the color of, like this one. Cool. Click share, download, choose the ones that you don't want to download all of them, just like this, this, and this. Right here, I'm going to use the same image that we used before, which was this gradient. The last thing we have to change is, of course, insert our logo at the bottom. Change this to our email for our agency. Could also be your own personal email for now. No worries. Change this to your actual color, of course. To change the icon, you change them in the left-hand side right here. Change the color here. And for this, of course, also change this. Cool. For business name, write your business name right here. And now it's pretty much done. We can make this a little wider, maybe like this, maybe. It's a little bigger, then it aligns better, right? Cool. This website is pretty cool and very simple to set up because it has one main page. When people click one of these buttons, let me show you in a preview. It scrolls, if they click, for example, right here, try free demo, it scrolls down to the calendar page where people can then book an appointment. We can see this calendar page is also a different color. To update that, we just go back from the website builder, go to settings, go to calendars, then find the one that's called 30-minute meeting, edit this calendar, go down to customizations on the left-hand side, and then choose the primary color and make sure that we set the primary color to this bluish color right here. And if I then go back to our preview page right here, hit enter and scroll down, now you can see our calendar is in this bluish color and it fits better to the page. Very cool. On this website template as well, you also have the privacy policy and the terms of service. If I open these, you can see that you can just insert a privacy policy right here. Of course, you also want to insert your logo. It's always good to get a legal professional to write a good privacy policy for you. But when you're starting out, you can also just use ChatGPT. Do that on your own risk though. And the same for the terms of service. Here you also need to insert the logo and then you can get ChatGPT to write you a good terms of service. Awesome. Of course, you would change all of this information to the exact industry that you're targeting, the exact services that you're providing. But this template gives you a very, very good foundation to just build out of. And this website looks extremely clean, makes you look very professional. And we have used this for literally years. It works perfectly. Just like the website that we did for the client, you also need to go in and change this SEO metadata. You can see right now it says Shiny AI. You just write roofbots, right? Or the agency name that you have. And you can also change this to what you want. And this good description, also give it a good description. We can potentially get ChatGPT to write this. Write a good description for SEO for an AI agency called Roofbots. And then we just give this. And we'll use this smaller version. There we go. This looks clean. Update SEO metadata. Remember to save. Alright, the website is starting to look pretty good. If you scroll down, you'll notice the calculate your lost revenue. And this is actually custom code that we also have on our website, where potential customers can calculate how much revenue they're missing out on from doing a lead reactivation. So I've just inserted this on this template as well, but you can see that it's a different color scheme. I'd recommend inserting one of two things here. If you go to your website builder and you scroll down, you're going to see this custom HTML block right here. If you click on the right hand side, open code editor, it's going to show you the code. And because this is code, to edit this, you just head over to ChatGPT, paste in the code, and just tell it to make this a gradient of black. And let me find that color from Canva right quick. Don't show this, just make this a gradient of black, and then I'll insert that blue color. And then I write provide the entire script back to me. This being custom code might scare you a bit in the start, but when you can use ChatGPT, it really just allows you to really customize anything about this calculator. There we have it. ChatGPT wrote our entire script. Go back into Go High Level, remove all of this code inside of here, insert the new one, click Save and Publish, and click this little eye. And if you scroll down, now you can see these blue boxes are now blue, which I like. But you can also see that the background is now black. So I'll tell it to grid, but now the background is black. please provide the entire script back to me where the background is transparent. So you can just go back and forth with ChatGPT, and now I'm only changing the colors, but you could also, if you wanted to, completely change the look of it and also how it calculates and the logic. You can really go in detail with this. And it doesn't really matter what service it is that you're providing. You can almost always create some kind of calculator. For example, for the website widget, you could ask them how much traffic they're getting to their website and how much your website widget potentially could increase. It just updated the new code, so I'll delete all of this. I'm going to copy in the new code. Let's see if this works correctly. There we go. Now we have this blue dark color, which looks pretty cool. And you can, of course, change this to whatever color that you want. That is one of the options that you have to take this calculator and then use it for your own. I want to show you another thing that you can also do. Instead of calculate your lost revenue, we can also write demo the AI with your own eyes. And then I'm going to make your own eyes bold like this, so it pops. And then for the text below, I'll just write like, see the AI in action. Try it yourself, and then I'll insert a little arrow right here, because we can also create a demo on our website where our clients can test our AI firsthand without even talking to us. This is also especially good if you're running something like ads, or if you're doing outreach. Then you can tell people, well, you can just go and try the AI on our website. To set this up, we use a sneaky feature inside of Build My Agent. The left-hand side, go to the Demo tab and then click Create a Demo. You want to choose the one that is closest to what you're doing. So if you're, for example, doing a bunch of Instagram automations, then you can show an Instagram DM demo. If you're doing a lot of SMS automation, then you can also show the phone on the SMS demo type. But for now, I'm going to choose the standard chat right here. And I'm going to call this the RoofBuds website demo. And then I'm going to choose the AI that we created for Platinum Plumbing, so they can see, okay, how does it work? How does it look? And then I click Create Demo. This is what the standard chat looks like. And we can, of course, customize all of this. You could also, if you sell a lot of website widgets, show a demo of what a website widget would look like. You could also do SMS chat. So show this window right here on their website. Same with a messenger demo right here and an Instagram DM demo. For now, I'm going to choose the standard chat. Now we're going to choose a color. And of course, we want the color to fit our website. What I'll do is that I'll go to our website where we have the cover, and then I'll take a screenshot of this blue color. Then inside of Google, I'll search Hexi from picture. This will show this image color picker. Paste this in, take the blue color, and this gives us the hex code. When I copy this and insert it, we get the exact blue color that is on our website. And because our website is in light mode, I'm also going to choose the light themed mode right here. We could, if we want to, add a header image. The way we do that is that we go to our website, right click on our logo and just say copy image address, insert this, and now you can see it says RoofBuds right here. And the same with the avatar and the widget icon. Then we have some white label settings. We won't mess with those yet. What you can do is that you can also send this demo in a link where you have your own domain if you want to show this to someone in the DMs, for example. We're not going to mess with this for now. This is a plumbing demo. Act as a plumbing customer to see how the AI interacts with customer. Just like this. I think type your message is pretty good. Then we have a share button up here. Because we're installing this on our website, a share button is probably not needed. This could be good if you're sending it to someone and they wanted to send it to someone else. But for now, I'm going to just hide the share button. We can change the background if we want to. I think this background is fine. We can insert a custom title right here instead of RoofBuds website demo. I'm just going to call it plumbing demo. We can change how big this title size is, but I think this is pretty good. And then for usage and limit, we can set a limit to how much the demo can be used. This is smart because you don't want anyone to overuse your demo, since this costs a little bit in AI credits. So it's very good to set a limit of something like 200 maybe. And then you can always later go in and increase that. Now we just click save in the top right corner. And then to install this demo on our website, we click the share button right here. I'll recommend going with the responsive size. Click this duplicate, click this copy button, and then we're going to go back to our website. It's a good idea to save this script right here if you want to go back in the future. For now, I'm just going to delete it and instead insert this demo script. And then when I save and click publish and I scroll down, you can now see we have a demo on our website. And it says right here, there's a plumbing demo. They can then write, hi, I have a plumbing issue. You get the point. Now people can test your actual demo on your website. Right now this demo is a bit tall. All we have to do to change that is just go back into the code editor, and then we can change this height right here to, let's say, 70. And now you can see the demo is a little smaller, which fits better on the screen. Now our website's starting to look really good. What I recommend, however, is to also install a website widget on your website. You cannot really be installing website widgets on other businesses' websites without having one yourself. Doing this is quite simple. We just click on the new agent tab inside of Build My Agent, and then again we just choose Sales Agent. This time we don't write in a client's website name, we write in our own website name. So let's call this RoofBuds, and then say we provide website widgets, websites, and other AI services to, maybe we can go a bit broad and just say to trades companies. Like this, click continue. Then it says what information should we give the agent. Let's give it our website. We can actually give it the preview link. We haven't deployed this website yet. I'm going to show you how to do that too. But we can actually just copy this link right here of the preview, then paste it in, click this arrow, and then it includes, and then it finds all of the pages. We click you select the pages, and then inside of the FAQs, we click generate FAQ from pages. And now it adds a nice FAQ to our prompt. Click close. If we had some additional information, we could upload this in a PDF file. Not going to do that. Just click continue. And now it's analyzing our site and adding information to our AI's knowledge base. For the AI communication, still recommend using friendly. Language is going to be English. What is the agent's goal? I'll recommend setting this to leads. And then we want to capture name, email, and phone number. We don't need an address when we're getting agency clients to ourselves, so name, email, and phone sounds good. Click continue. Where should leads be sent? This time, let's turn on both email notifications that are sent to Oliver's email, and let's also connect a Google Sheet. Here we can either insert an already existing spreadsheet ID. We can also click connect in the top right corner and then connect ourselves, and then log in with our Google account, because that is going to also create a new sheet for us. Just click continue here, and now it says authentication successful. There we go, and it'll automatically create a spreadsheet for us. Then we click continue. Now it will create our conversation flow. Max 2 questions is a good amount to have in the conversation flow before we get their lead information. So I'm going to remove this top one and instead keep these 2, because I think this is better questions. Then we click continue. It's gathering all the information, adding it to the knowledge base, and now our AI agent is ready. We have already connected our Google Sheets, but we do also need to connect our Gmail. We're going to do that with OAuth. Click authenticate, and then I'm going to choose the Gmail account that I want to send emails from. Authentication successful. There we go. Now we can modify our agent if we want to, but it all looks right. If we write something like, hi, I am interested in your AI services. Then it says, hi there, what's your main goal? Responding to leads faster, re-engaging old customers, or increasing your overall conversion rate. I want effective lead follow-up. That's a great focus. Is improving your lead response something you're looking to tackle now, or are you just exploring options for the future? Looking at options. Got it. Exploring is a great way to see what's possible. So give you the best idea of how we can help. What's your name, email, and phone number? And I'll send over some info so you can look through it at your own pace. You write their name. Now I'm just going to insert some random email and also just some random number. Hit enter. It now says, thanks Albert, I've got your details. Since you're looking for effective lead follow-up, you might find it interesting that our AI agents can give you leads. So it gives some information based on our website that we engage in WhatsApp or SMS. And normally they come in, handle scheduling effectively. Would you like to see a quick demo of how it works, or should I just send over those details for you to review later? And here you can see it created a spreadsheet, it updated the spreadsheet, and then it also sent an email. So if I now go to my Google Sheets, and inside of here, you can see the name of the lead, email of the lead, number of the lead, and then what they were interested in. So a short summary of the conversation, interested in lead follow-up options. I can also go to my email where I said I wanted to receive notifications. And inside of here, you can see new lead with the exact same information. Pretty cool, huh? Let's get this deployed on our website. Just like before, we just click deploy agent. And then I create a new sub account that I call RoofBuds. And then I create that sub account. This time again, because we want it on the website, I'm going to choose website widget, but we could also install this on our Instagram, on our Facebook Messenger, on our WhatsApp account as well. So the AI handles all inquiries to our AI agency. We just choose the website widget and then click continue. And then we name our agent. I'm going to call this website agent and then deploy that agent. Awesome. It was deployed successfully. and now we go to it, and there we have it. Now we are on the sub account specifically for our own AI agency. In the top left corner, we can of course switch all of our sub accounts, but we can actually make this sub account look pretty good. We can do that by going into settings right here and customizing it. Let's make it blue, for example. Now our sub account view is blue. We can also insert our logo just like we did before by going onto our website, right-clicking, clicking copy image address, and then going in, inserting the image address like this, and just clicking save changes. When we then refresh the page, you can see in the top left corner, it now says roof bots. We can make this a little larger maybe. This, save changes, refresh. And now it is a little bigger in the top left corner. And you can even white label this sub account, so you can send this out with your own domain on it and give the clients access to see their conversations as well when you create a sub account for your client. You can also invite team members under team, so they also can see all of the conversations that the AI has. I can then click on the website agent right here, and I can go to configuration, and let's again take a screenshot of the color, get the hexi color from the picture, copy this code, and then we can insert this right here so this widget has the right color. Because our website is light mode, I'd recommend also having this as light mode. We can scroll down. I'll keep the same dimensions. I'll keep it responsive. I'll keep it bottom right. Might make it a little bigger, like 80 pixels. Then in the welcome message, I'll write something like chat with our AI agent. It knows everything about our services or AI services. For the suggested responses, we can have something like, what AI services do you offer? Are your services secure? Do you offer self-hosting? You can create some responses that works with your services. And then for the pop-up message that pops up right here, it says, hi there, need any help? We can probably just give it the same message right here. So it just looks like this. Chat with our AI agent and knows everything about our AI services. For the branding, we can change this right here. Let's just call it AI agent. I'll do the same for the AI assistant name. New conversation and previous conversation is fine. And I'm just going to keep the logos like this. Click save. And then just like we did in the previous videos, I'm just going to click deploy and copy this tag. Then when we go back into our go high level, create at the bottom, maybe just right under this run a free test button, I'll create a custom code block, and then I'm going to insert this code right here. I'm going to click save, click publish, and there we go. Now on our website, we have the website widget, and now it says chat with our AI agent. It knows everything about our AI services. And just like before, they can write, hi, I'm interested. And the AI goes through the conversation flow, handles their questions, and gets the information so we can later call them and we can capture their lead information. Now we have a finished website. One last thing that we have to do is that inside of the nav bar right here, it still says calculator. I'm going to call this free demo. Just like this, submit it, save it. And now it says free demo in the top right corner. Absolutely awesome. All right. Now our website is almost ready to be deployed. One thing I will mention though, which is one of the main mistakes that I see all the time, is that you want to keep the website simple and you want to keep the language on your website very clear and exactly what you do in an understandable language. Sometimes I review some websites of AI agencies that are just starting out, and they have text blocks and text blocks of like really complicated AI language that their customer is never going to understand. An app I'd recommend is an app called HemingwayApp.com. And what this does is that I can copy in some text right here, and then I can see what grade it is. So how hard is it to read? This is both how the sentence is structured, but also the words that I use. You can see exactly how it calculates this on the right-hand side. So let's take this section, for example. Close new leads much faster is a good sentence, but this right here, achieve faster, better, and more personal follow-up that creates more happy customers at a high conversion rate. That is a sentence that is hard to read. Now it's grade 5. I would recommend being under grade 6 on absolutely everything. There's a statistic in the US that says that 50% of Americans read under a grade 6 level. What does this mean? It means that if your sentences are over grade 6, then you basically cut away half of your market. They wouldn't want and they don't like to read your copy. So when you set up your website, make sure to use the Hemingway app and make your website really, really easy to read. Awesome. Now we have a finished website. It's time to hook it up to our domain. I already have a domain that's called roofbuds.dev inside of my Cloudflare. To get a domain inside of Cloudflare, it's the exact same process that we did in the previous video, so you can go back and watch that and just do the exact same thing with your domain. I'm now going to click on my domain, roofbuds.dev, go into the DNS records right here, and then I can see we have a bunch of records right here that we are not using, so I'm just going to delete those right quick. To publish our website on this domain, we then go back into Go High Level. In the top right corner, we click this settings wheel, and then we go to the domain section, click connect the domain, click to a funnel. I write roofbuds.dev, check this on, click continue, exactly like we did it in the other video. Click authorize domain, authorize. That's why we set it up via Cloudflare. It makes us able to do it in one click. We now click website, and then we choose the main website. We choose the main page, and then we click proceed to finish. Awesome. Let's see what happens if we then go to roofbuds.dev. There we have it. Our website is now live. And now clients can book appointments with us. If they click here or start, try free demo, etc. A free demo is basically also just like a demo call. If they click start here, it's going to scroll down to this calendar right here. And here, based on this time zone, they can book a time. So let's say someone books for Monday at, let's say, 10 a.m. They need to write in this information. They just write Albert, testing. They choose their number. I'm just going to choose the random US number right here. Like this. And then just test email. They check this checkbox, they click schedule meeting, and then it goes to this page right here, and now they are booked in. Your meeting has been scheduled. We can now see these appointments inside of Go High Level, go inside of calendars, and then remember in the right-hand side to click on this calendar that's called 30-minute meeting right here, because that is going to show us the appointments that has been booked in that calendar. If I then click on this appointment, I can see all of the appointment information that they wrote into the form, and I can then call them, remind them that they have an appointment. I can text them the meeting link, email them the meeting link. You get it. Right now, the availability is completely open inside of the calendar. If you want to change the availability, then you hit under calendar settings right here. You go to not grouped, and then you find 30-minute meeting calendar. Click on this edit calendar, and you can basically change the settings for this calendar. Awesome. That was a bit of a long one, but now you learned how to set up your own AI agency website, how to install either a calculator or this demo page on your website, and also how to create a website widget like this so you can show the clients what it is that you actually provide. It's now time to start going out, doing a bunch of outreach, and then starting the free service delivery to build experience so we can start selling our first agents. In the next video, we're going to go over something I wished someone had told me when I started my AI agency, which is how to create a good offer. Your offer is everything when you're starting out. So building a good model where you get a lot of customers in the door and where you also profit a lot is what building a good offer is all about. And we're not only going to build one offer, we're going to build a series of offers, which then creates a money model, shout out Alex Amosi, which is crucial to building a profitable AI agency. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you in the next one.
All right, you have finally reached the point where you are getting ready for your first client. And now that you've actually picked the niches that you want to go for, it's extremely important that you understand what their pain points actually are, and then how to actually position the offer so that you're addressing a direct pain point instead of just going in and pitching them something that they don't use. A really good example of this is if you start talking about voice AI agents with a company that gets all their traffic through Instagram DMs or maybe even WhatsApp, then the voice AI might be really good, but it's not what they need at all. I get it, research sounds like we're going back to school. It sounds boring, but this is the niche research that actually matters. And it's very, very simple. You just take the prompt here and you head over to ChatGPT. Just copy in the prompt and then you insert your industry down at the bottom. We could go with car detailers. As you can see here, the biggest pain point for the car detailers is that they are missing inquiries and they come via text, Facebook, IG DMs, or calls. It's very true that in the car detailing niche, no one responds fast because they are out doing a job. And this means that their leads go cold within minutes and they reach out to the next car detailer, because as long as the consumer doesn't find a solution or feel like they are being taken care of, they kind of just move on to the next company that could potentially help them. So by implementing this, you prevent them from losing revenue and you book people in instantly. You are able to handle their inquiries, answer their questions, handle objections, and then they won't actually miss out on appointments or revenue. Then we have a high no-show rate and low retention. And the way you fix this is by setting up an automation that makes sure the customers do not forget their appointments. So once they're booked, they get personalized messages from the detailer to actually make sure that they are reminded, which means that fewer people forget about their appointments, fewer people no-show, and they make more money. And on top of that, you can make sure that the car detailer gets more repeat business by actually reaching out to the customers that they previously had and that they delivered a good job to. You can do this by sending out an automation with a personalized message from the car detailer with an offer. This will just get them some bookings, some more cash, and that customer will be more likely to go with them again next month or the month after. As you can see, these are very, very spot on pain points that we can actually just go in and solve. And we're being told exactly what pain point it is, how to fix it, how it impacts the business, and why it's good for them. As you can see down here, they have inefficient booking and scheduling, which is true. They don't get reviews or social proof, which is basically what people are looking for immediately when they choose something like a car detailer to come and detail their car. And then finally, they have a difficulty of qualifying leads with limited time, and they are tied up answering repetitive questions, which is just what the AI fixes. And down here, you can see exactly what we were talking about. What they need is live lead engagement. They need a website widget. They need appointment setting and follow-up automations. They can do lead reactivation to get these repetitive customers, set up a Google review agent to get them more Google reviews, more social proof, more trust, and more bookings. These are all super, super high impact AIs and super big pain points for the car detailer. So use this on your niches to get an exact breakdown of their biggest pain points, how to fix them with AI, and then also how the ROI actually works. What amount of time they're spending on these repetitive tasks, how many bookings they're missing out on that they're not getting, how many no-shows, and then also what kind of impact it has in general on their business. And I suggest that you do this with every single niche that you're thinking about going into, because realistically, you're going to be picking 1, 2, 3, or even 4 niches that you're actively going to be going through. So you can see who's most responsive on the phone, who actually needs the services, and who are you more likely to close. So yes, research is boring, but this is how we've made it extremely easy and extremely effective and super valuable at the same time. Before I go into the exact method, I want to bring up something that is even more important than the leads you're contacting, the method you're using, what you're saying, what you're pitching them. And that is your exact input, which means the mindset that you're going into this with, the volume that you're going to be doing, and the consistency that you bring. Because we talk to thousands of AI agencies, and I see this again and again and again. Some people expect that when reaching out the first week to their first 10 companies, 20 companies, or even 50 companies, that they're going to be given their first client, they're going to take their first payment, and by then already make their first $500 or even their first $5,000. Those were the exact expectations that Albert and I also had in the beginning, but after being in the space for 3 years now, we know that it's completely unrealistic and you're just setting yourself up for failure if you expect this. It takes true dedication and a lot of volume to get your first clients and to get your first payments. Because the truth is, you'll sign on clients, you'll get some payments that are low, but they won't be long recurring clients because not all clients are actually good clients, and you'll figure this out too. So when you reach out to your first 10, 20, 30 businesses and you keep getting no's, it's completely normal, and you need real volume to actually land clients and get your first payments. Especially in the beginning, where you're just figuring out how to do outreach, what to say, what kind of words resonate, what kind of lingo do they use in the different industries. If you stay consistent day by day, apply volume to the outreach that you're doing, you'll learn so much from interacting with the business owners. You'll get knowledge to iterate and improve on your scripts to land more clients, and it will overall just make you more successful without having to increase the volume even further. But to actually get to that point where you have a lot of success with the same volume, it takes consistency, and it takes you being willing to sit down and realize that you're not really good at outreach yet and that you can improve day by day. All right, now we're on the same page in terms of how much dedication and how much volume it actually takes to be successful, land clients, and consistently grow. We can now dig into the exact outreach method and strategy that you will be implementing to land your first client. To break it down simply, we are going to get business owners information, and then we use that information to contact and reach out to them on multiple platforms. This could be cold calling them, then reaching out to them on Facebook, finding their Instagram profile, then reaching out to them there, and maybe even also finding them on LinkedIn, and then reaching out and sending a personal message. This is called a multi-touchpoint outreach method, and it will almost ensure that every single time you try to reach out to a business, that they will actually read your message, and that way you are way more likely to interact with them and actually engage with the decision maker. Let me show you how this works. The first thing that we're going to do is head over to Google Maps and go to your local city. And then in the search bar, we're going to be typing in the industry and the niche that we're going to be contacting. Now, as you can see, multiple businesses are popping up. And what we want to make sure to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom so that we fetch all of the results and all of the businesses from Google Maps. Once you see that you've reached the end of the list, you're going to head up to extensions, and I'm going to be giving you a link in the description on how to get this data scraper. In here, we are going to be selecting the Google Maps List Scrape 2025. Make sure it has auto-selected the new scrape, and then just scroll briefly to the side and make sure that you have the fields where you get the phone numbers and you get their websites, which says email for some reason. Now head back up and click on Scrape, click on Download, and then copy to Clipboard. Search sheets.new, and then simply copy in the CSV. I usually head over to text wrapping and then click on the middle option, and then I usually extend these so that they have a bit more space. Now head up to the first cell where it says business owner, address, rating, and etc. Click on view, and then click on freeze and click on one row. That way you're going to be locking this one in, and we'll be needing that in a second. Now head over to the column where it says email. This is actually where they have all of their websites. And then you click on the small arrow. And in here, you want to click on sort sheet from A to Z. And what that's actually doing is it sorts out all of the companies that have websites right here. And then at the bottom, there will be all of the companies that does not have a website. This is very important. Because in this outreach strategy, we're going to be splitting up the businesses that have websites and the businesses that don't have websites. And it's really important that you actually check their websites to see if it's actually a website. And if it's really bad, you can actually offer to make them one instead and put them in the bucket of the ones that don't have websites. And also, if they only have their Facebook or something similar, then you can also put them in the bucket of not having a website and mention that you check their website or you check their Facebook page and they don't have a website. Because the first part of the outreach method is reaching out to these business owners with your own phone that has a local number where you cold call them. And you can see that you can use these scripts below. The DM outreach scripts are something that we are going to be looking at later. So you head over to use these scripts, and then you take a look at the cold calling scripts for the free website, and you take a look at the cold calling script for the free widget. And the free website script is the one that we're going to be using for all of the businesses that we've put into the bucket of not having a website. And then the free widget script is the one that we're going to be using for all of the companies that already have websites. So you head back to the sheet, take a look at the business names to make sure that they are actually within your niche. You can also see it in the category sometimes. Sometimes they're miscategorized or they're not relevant. So just make sure that you take a look at that. And then a really smart trick that you can use if you are using a MacBook and you also have an iPhone is that you can actually copy what is on your MacBook and then use the paste option on your iPhone inside of the phone app. And then you can directly copy and paste it from the Mac into the phone without having to type in the number every single time. This will just make you more efficient. So once you start dialing, we use 3 colors to keep everything organized and be able to know what actually happened on the calls. The first color that we use is green, and this means that they are interested. This either means that you booked a call or that you have to follow up with them again. You can actually put it into a note here. Interested, call again tomorrow. Then we use the red color if they explicitly said they are not interested and that you shouldn't call them again. And also a quick note, if you see the phone number error inside of your sheet, it's usually just because it thinks it's a formula. The phone number is right up here, and all you have to do is just copy the phone number without the equal sign and then copy it into your phone. So don't skip the phone numbers where it says error, it's usually just up here. And now for the final color, this is if they do not pick up the phone, and then we use yellow. But right here, we don't just continue on to the next cold call. What we do now is we want to find the company's other contact information. And we do that by either copying the business name or heading over to their website. You copy it in, you then search for the business name and then the city that you're in, and then you look for any Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. As you can see right here, we have a LinkedIn, We can see he has 0 followers, no activity, so it's probably not a good idea to reach out here. It doesn't look like there's a lot of other ways to contact him other than calling his phone, which means we'll keep this as yellow and then we continue to the next one and then we can try and call him again tomorrow. When we have people that don't pick up the phone and we do find them on social media, we go over to the DM outreach script and we either use the free website or the free widget script, and we basically just copy in the opener, paste it into the DMs, and then once we respond, we copy the next message into the DMs, and then we have a conversation with them. So what you need to do here in day 5 is you take a look at these scripts, you personalize them to the niche and to the industry that you're going to be reaching out to. That way you've gathered a complete strategy of who you'll reach out to, how you'll get to them, and then what you'll say as well. That way you're going to be ready for day 6, where your main goal is going to be booking a call, and I'm going to be doing a video showing you exactly how to do it by going in and doing a bunch of outreach myself. Welcome to day 6, where your main goal is going to be booking a call with a potential client and book them in for a Google Meet. The reason I wanted you to watch this before proceeding with doing cold outreach is because I know that you have a unique advantage that could most likely shortcut your way to your first client today. And that is by reaching out to your own network. This could be family members that know business owners or family members that are business owners. It's going through your contacts in your phone, sending out some messages to some potential people that you could help. And the important thing here is just to be completely upfront that you're trying to start a thing of your own. You want to do some work for free to show you how valuable it is, and you're doing it for a testimonial or just to get started. You can also use your past employers to briefly reach out to them and have a brief discussion around if they could use AI for something. When you have these type of discussions with family members, network, or past employers, just make sure that you've done a little bit of research using the prompt that I gave you earlier. That way you're going to go into the discussion completely prepared. And now I want you to think about the people that you're interacting with on a weekly, monthly, or even yearly basis. It could be your hairdresser. It could be a cleaning company. It could be a pool cleaner. It could be a gardener. It could be the next time you have an electrician over or a plumber. It doesn't matter. But the truth is, you can interact with these people. They are actual people with actual businesses that you can have a brief discussion with. Just ask some questions about their business, how they're getting clients, what they're spending time on, be genuinely interested, and then just tell them that you started this thing and that you'd be happy to see if you could help them. You'll be surprised in your day-to-day when you just start looking for the opportunities, whether you're going to the dentist or the hairstylist, that you can start these conversations that they can lead to actual clients. If this is done correctly, you could probably make your first $500 to $1,000 online by providing free value up front, and then if they actually like it, you can upsell them on more services or help them even further. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how the outreach strategy works by doing it myself, cold calling people, finding them online, doing the multi-point outreach. Let's just jump into it. All right, so I'm going to be starting with doing the free website widget offer by calling the businesses, and I'm going to be using Go High Level to call businesses. But as mentioned, you should use your own phone with your own local number. It's going to be a lot easier than cold calling the US, because the people I'm going to be cold calling, they get a bunch of calls every single day, and a lot of people are tired about it. But with the script, hopefully we're going to be able to seem more genuine and actually get some conversations going. And once you set up your business, you can set up A2P inside of Go High Level, which allows you to get a local US phone number that you can do outreach from. Okay. All right, so we're going to be searching for Vienna plumbing repair up in the Google search bar just to make sure that we have them right here. We can see that we have them right here on Yelp, which doesn't really give us any kind of contact information. Okay, so there is nothing. So we are going to mark him as a yellow one, and we're going to be calling him again tomorrow. Then we continue to the next plumber, put it over in Go High Level. Damn. Right, we are going to be searching. Right here, we can see AB's Plumbing in Parkersburg. So what we're going to do is we are going to send him a message saying, hey, I tried to call you. Is this the best place to ask the question? And then we go into our sheet, we mark him as yellow, and then we click on send message on Facebook. That way we can also message that once we try to call him again tomorrow or later. Now we go to Dennis and Son Plumbing and Contracting. He has bad reviews. Let's see what happens. It's not hurting. Let's try this shit.
Yeah, hey, this is Oliver. The reason I'm calling is I'm working on a business project in plumbing, and I was on your website, and I was looking for a way to, get some replies from you guys or book. Just wanted to ask you, how do people usually get answers and book appointments with you?
See, this is the low heating and cooling side. So if you're looking for plumbing, so our answering machine should have 3 different options there. It should take you to either heating and cooling, it should take you to plumbing, or estimates. If you just hit plumbing, that'll take you on over to plumbing. They'll take care of you there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, heating and cooling is perfectly fine as well. It's a similar business model,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I was wondering with your customers, do they sometimes have to wait for a call or a text back from your company, or is it pretty much always answering?
We always answer pretty much.
Okay, so you don't think that if they would book appointments on the website, or if they could get immediate responses on the website, do you think that would, increase conversion or have less people go to competitors or something like that?
The best way to get a response from us would just be called directly in.
Yeah, because the reason I ask, and I don't even know if it makes sense for you, but for my business project, I want to make a free widget for the site that would always answer questions and can book people in. And if you guys like it, you guys could give a testimonial.
My boss could be okay with that. I'll go ahead and take your information down here, and I will hand it over to the big man that makes decisions.
Is there a way to call him directly?
Unless like one of us hand you off to him, and he gives you his like direct line personally. That's probably the only way you could. And what was the company name you're with, or is it like?
I mean, company name could be Shiny, but yeah, it's just kind of like just a small business project that we're trying to do.
Gotcha. I'll go ahead and hand this off to him the next time I see him, which should hopefully be here soon. And hopefully he can give you a call back and you guys can talk about this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right, so as you can see, even with a relatively big company, they have multiple services, multiple people picking up the phone, trying to be active. You can actually get passed on to the owner, and maybe he'll call back, maybe he won't, but it's a good way to get in contact with them. And then what I would also do is I would go in to the Law and Plumbing Services LLC, and then I would try to look for them on Google. So as you can see, we found them right here. We can go ahead and message them that we called them. Just give them some context. Called you earlier and got on the phone. Is this the best place to ask a question? This way, we're hitting it from multiple angles. So it would really surprise me if someone doesn't get back to our message, because now the inquiry seems a bit more serious now that we're hitting them from multiple angles. And then we also got some heating and cooling lingo that we can actually throw in, and what we're going to do if he picks up the phone, try to hit up JBus, see what's going on.
Yeah, hey, this is Oliver. The reason I'm calling is because I'm working on a business project in plumbing and heating and cooling and such. I was on your website, and there was no way to get like a quick reply or to see bookings or anything like that. So I was just wondering, how do people usually get answers?
We have a button on there, and then you can call us.
So do people usually sometimes have to wait for a call or a text back from you guys, or do you have a receptionist or something that's kind of taking all the calls?
We have a receptionist.
Do you think more people would book appointments if they could get answers and book immediately on the website?
We can't really book immediately on the website because due to the time that certain jobs take. So.
So you don't really use a calendar to book people in?
Yeah, we use a calendar, but we go on a job order. And it just depends on how long each job takes.
Yeah. The reason I ask is I don't even know if it makes sense for you, but for my business project, I wanted to make a free widget for one of the local businesses, and I just saw your site, and it would just be on there, answer a question, and then instead of booking people in, it could just get people to call you. But yeah, it would be free, and if you guys like it, you guys could give a testimonial.
I don't think we'd be interested in that at this time, but if you wanted to send us something to our email about it, I could show it to the owner. Yeah, our email is jbus.
Is there any way to just ask the owner about it, just to see if he'd be down for that?
He's not here, right?
Free.
Yeah, he's not in the office today.
Okay, no worries. Do you know when he'd be in?
He works out in the field too as well, so he doesn't typically work all day in the office.
But yeah, I'll look for your email on the website and then see. I was just trying to do it for one of the local businesses. So maybe I'll just hit up the next one.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so what I would do back in the day when I get any receptionist is I would always just hang up the phone immediately. And I would probably advise you guys to do the same thing. And then avoid any Google reviews that are over like 100 because it's guaranteed going to be a receptionist. All right, let's try this guy. Yeah, hey, this is Oliver. The reason I'm calling is because I'm working on a business project in plumbing and damn. And by the way, where you will have a big advantage is because you have a local phone number. For example, right now I'm dialing in Charleston with a Boston phone number. So they might actually see that I'm not local, which is a big disadvantage. So I should probably have made a list in Boston. But if you do decide to get A2P, then try to match it with a region that you're going to be calling anyway, so that it looks like you're local. All right, no client or meeting today. However, I have a good feeling about some of the DMs that we send out. Usually people, they get back to us when we mention that we called. And if we can ask a question here, and we of course proceed with the DM script. I personally get back to people anytime I can, whether it's in my bed or at the gym or out while walking. I pull up the script on my phone, I copy it in, get responses back to people immediately when they are available. And yeah, we're going to follow up on people that we DM'd. We are going to try to call people again tomorrow. And then if you do get someone that will consider it, just make sure to follow up with them, hit them up on the DMs again, and then call them too. It is a grind and it is a volume game. And if you're just like me and hope that you would get a client on the first night of calling, then try again tomorrow and don't expect it to be in the first week either. But volume really negates luck. You could probably call 100 businesses just saying, hey, do you need AI? And one of them would say yes. But with this script, we actually get the opportunity to talk to a little bit more people, which will get us more yeses than just asking people if they want AI. And if you stay consistent in calling and DMing people every single day for the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks, I guarantee you that you're going to have your first client paying at least $29 a month. It is really simple. It is really just about staying consistent and doing a certain amount of volume for a certain amount of time. Welcome to day 7, where we're going to be focusing on how to actually close your first client. And it all starts by making sure that they show up to the meeting. However, don't be discouraged if some people don't show up to the meetings. It's a completely normal thing in the industry, especially also with some of the local service businesses. So don't be discouraged, book the next call, move on to the next person, and then just make sure to send some follow-up messages or call the businesses that no-showed. Anyways, this is how you do your absolute best to make sure that they actually show up to the call. First, while you cold call someone and they say yes to the meeting, open up your Google Calendar and ask them for their email. Then you agree to a time to meet and you put it on the calendar. And then once I have their email, I just type in their email, and then you should see both your name and their name in here, and an automatic Google Meet has just been set up. Then once you've confirmed that their email is correct, then you click on save. And then this will pop up. And you want to click on send, because what this will do is it's going to send them the invitation, and it's going to pop up in their email, and it's going to pop up on their calendar. And then the next step is to say, I've just sent you an invite. Can you check if the time is correct on your end? And then you tell them to confirm the meeting if it's the right time. Because they will get an email with the time, and then what it will look like on their calendar is this box that is not filled out completely. And they can then click on if they're going or if they are not. And if they click on yes, they will get automatic notification by Google to actually show up to this meeting. So this is one out of a few steps that we need to do in order to make sure that they are going to attend the meeting. And we do this very simply by just telling them to confirm the meeting if the timing looks correct on their calendar. And then the next thing we need to do in order to ensure that they actually show up is that we have a conversation with them, preferably a call on the day before. And this even applies if you talked to them just a few hours ago, because what we are doing here is we are saying, hey, Albert, I was doing some final touches on your demo. What is your exact opening hours and what product do you sell the most? When you ask them this question, not only are you showing them that you're actively working on their demo, that you're working hard, but they are also giving you commitment via their information, which is the most important thing, because they can feel that you are bringing value and that you are taking their information and you are actually developing and doing something for them. And it's in human nature that if we are given something of value, that we want to reciprocate somehow. And the way that they can reciprocate is by showing up to the meeting that you've already put effort into. So this is just showing them that we're committed to do a good job, that we're providing actual value, and it works as a reminder at the same time, because what you're going to do is you're also going to just briefly ask if tomorrow/tonight, whatever time it is, tomorrow still works, right? And then there's two scenarios. Either they're completely upfront with you and they say, oh, actually tomorrow might not be good. Let me just double check, and you'll find a time that actually works. This is not a bad thing. This just means that they are actually going to prioritize the meeting, or they're going to tell you yes. And then 2 hours before the meeting, you either send them an email or an SMS saying, just want to send you a quick heads up about our meeting in 2 hours. Looking forward to it. So now we've done our absolute best in ensuring that they will actually show up to the meeting. If they end up no-showing, what I have always done that has sometimes gotten people to reschedule or hop on the call is go to the event where you were supposed to meet and then click on the email. And then what you're going to type in the message is just, hey Albert, were you able to make it? And then click on send. Because what this looks like is they will get a notification on their email with the event details, your email. And by sending them an email like this, it reminds them that they're supposed to join a meeting. And if they didn't show up, it shows that they let you down, which usually gets them to respond that they weren't able to make it or that you can reschedule, which is exactly what we want in this scenario. Now try to reschedule the time or try calling them again to make sure that it gets rescheduled. Now, when we've actually made sure that they show up to the meeting, there's a few things that we need to have in place in order to have the highest chance of actually closing them. And one of the most important things to actually bring to the sales call is a demo. And we have two different demos that we would have to make. And it's either a AI agent that we put on the website, or it's the website itself. And really quickly, I'm just going to show you exactly how I would create a demo. So first of all, for the website, you head over to your Go High Level account, you click on create a new website. You find it out in the sidebar here under sites. Go to websites instead of funnels. It always starts here. And then you actually just click on from templates, because here you have a ton of pre-built websites that are really good. And then you head straight up to the template section where you can search, and you just search for plumber. Try some different searches to see what has the most amount of options. And then you can see a quick preview of the templates, and you just choose the one that you like the best. I personally like this one, so I'm going to be choosing this template. And we are going to go with Home Solutions that has only a Facebook site. And here we have a bit of information that we can then use to actually create his website template. Now you can either turn off the logo in the menu or head back to one of the videos showing you exactly how to create their logo so that you can then insert their logo on their site. But we basically just want to make sure that we stick to their brand and that we insert their business info where it makes sense. I'm going to head back to the Facebook profile, and I would put in his phone number. I would put in their location. I would put in what kind of services they offer. And then I would take a look at some of the pictures just to see if it makes sense. So you can see right here, they have a bunch of services, and you don't necessarily need to put in all of them. I would just make sure that you've actually taken initiative and seen what it is that their phone number is, what their opening hours are, and what their services are. And then you can actually insert this into the website, and they will resonate with the website, and they will see the vision with the template even more. And this is really what we want. We want to be able to bridge that gap between what they want, which is more trust, a more professional looking business, more leads, and they want the best chances to make the most amount of money. And if you're able to bridge the gap between what it is that they want towards what they actually need, which a really good step in that direction is setting up a website. Once you make them realize that, they will be happy. They will be happy to go ahead and pay for the hosting, and they're going to be trusting you because you were able to give them this initial step towards having a better business. And you're going to be able to also help them further down the line. Getting them to say yes to this website and having us set it up for them is exactly what we want. And showing them a demo like this is exactly how we get them there. Now, if they already have a website and we want to set up a website widget for them, first you want to make sure that they don't have any way to actually get in contact with them, ask them questions, or book immediately on the page. And once you see that their website is looking really good, but they are just missing this component, we take their URL and copy it, and then we head over to create a sales agent. We then type in the business name, click on continue, click on website. We put in the URL, we select all pages, and what this does is it makes sure that it scans all of the sub pages that it has and then uses that information to put it into the AI. Click on continue. And then usually for the local businesses, we want a more relaxed tone. We pick English. We wanted to schedule appointments for them. And for now, we can skip this step and set up the Google Calendar later once we actually integrate it into their own calendars. Now we make sure that the hours of operations are correct from their website, and we make sure to make an appointment pest control appointment. And then we can make it an hour or 45 minutes. Add appointment type, select their time zone. This company is in Eastern time. And then because this is a demo, we can set up the email confirmation, the internal email confirmation, and the invites for the calendar. We can set that up after once we onboard them. And then it's going to create some custom questions for you for the conversation flow on how to actually book people in. And usually these are really good. And this is the exact framework that we've been using in our own agency to actually book more and more appointments. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and click continue, but you can change the conversation flow right here if you want it to be different. Perfect. So here we have the AI, and then we click on test in the bottom right corner, and we can start testing our AI to make sure that it's good. We're going to start by asking it, what services do you offer? We offer a wide range of services to handle about any pest issue you might have. This includes treatment for common household insects like ants, roaches, spiders. We also handle wildlife removal or critters, raccoons, squirrels, and bats. Have you been seeing pests inside lately, or is this more percentative? I've been getting more and more ants. That's definitely annoying. Ants can be persistent once they find a way in. We can certainly help you get that sorted out. It's more peace of mind. I don't like ants. If you want to share their home with a trail of ants, we can definitely get a technician out there to take care of them for you. Would mornings or afternoons usually work best? Mornings are good. And right here, we can see that it's actually trying to scan our calendar for open slots, which is great. This means that it's actually working. We just need to connect their Google Calendar first. And this is also something that we can explain to them on the demo. Now that we have our template, we head over to demo. And this is where we actually sell it. And then we click on create a demo. We do the website widget. We call it lamp pest proof. We choose the lamp pest proof booking agent, and then we create a demo. Now, to prepare the demo the best way possible, we want to make sure that they see the vision. And then the best way we can show them the vision is by actually putting this on their website as a preview and making sure that the colors align and that it looks like it's already deployed. So what we can do is we can go in and we can take the URL and we can paste it in. And if the URL does not work, it's because they have some protection on the website. So what you can do instead is that you can take a screenshot of the website and then you can actually upload it instead. So we click on upload. We head over to desktop, we take the screenshot, and then we have the website right here. Now head up to the theme, make it light because you can see their website is mostly white. And then we want to click on a custom color. And then we use this one right here where you can actually select their exact color. Everything is perfectly aligned. And then we can also change the welcome message, which all of the people that go on the website and use the widget, they will see. So we can make it, hey, do you have any pests inside your home, to make it more relevant. And then when you go on the call, you click on view live and this will pop up and they will see the exact idea, given the exact vision and helping them bridge the gap between what it is that you're offering, how it works, and what kind of impact it has, which you will show them by going through a demo. Then what you do on the call is that you show them this, you let them try it themselves, and then prepare a question sequence that you know works really well, that showcases that it knows about their products, it knows about their opening hours, it knows about what kind of services they have. Maybe it already knows the prices, and then you show how it actually books people in. And this will just help them bridge that gap between what they have right now and what they could have without even mentioning that it's AI. It's just showing them exactly what outcome this would have. It would make sure that everybody that goes to the website can chat with something, can get their questions answered, it can handle objections, and then it can help book people in directly without having to call them. That means even outside of opening hours, people will be able to go in, ask questions, and book appointments. And you just showing them a really good demo like this just demolishes all of their objections, all of their skepticism, and it makes them want to implement this on the website. So a demo and a nice presentation, and also them trying it themselves, is a key part of the sales process. Over the past 3 years, I've personally closed over 100 clients for our AI and automation agency, which is now over 50K every single month. And my goal in this video is pretty simple. It's just going to be giving you the whole sales framework that we use and all of the key components of our whole sales process that got us to this exact point of hitting 50K every single month. So just jumping right into it, the first thing you need to do is open up your calendar to 7 days a week. This means you do sales calls on weekends too, because a lot of the really dedicated business owners that want to do business with you, they will be working on weekends and they want to hop on calls on weekends because oftentimes that is also when they have more time. So this will not only give you more sales calls, but this will also separate you from the competition that you might have. The next thing you need to be doing is responding to leads immediately when they come in picking up the phone and calling them, shooting them a text if they don't pick up, and really just focus on that momentum that you have when a lead just signed up. Hormozy, he saw that a lead is 391% more likely to close if you call them and contact them immediately. You basically just need to be able to capitalize on this interest that they have when they first come in, and the faster you act, the higher likelihood you have of closing this prospect. The next thing you need to be doing is putting your calendar in 15-minute increments. Even if your sales calls are 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever they are, put your calendar so that people can schedule with you in 15-minute increments. This will make it look like you have a lot of availability, and it will allow people to be a lot more flexible. So if they have meetings, clients to attend, or other priorities that they need to take care of, in these time frames, having 15-minute increments will just make sure that you have more options to choose from, and people will find more available slots when they're booking in with you. And then of course you need to have a booking reminder system in place. So whenever somebody books, make sure to send them a text to confirm the meeting, and also send them a text 24 hours before and then 2 hours before. That is the best way to engage people and make sure that they remember, because truthfully, we all have a lot of things that we need to do, especially with our business. And a lot of people, they can just forget if they're not reminded. And it's an honest mistake. It happened to all of us. But the point is, you will see that 20 to 30% more people will show up to your meetings if you just remind them. So get one of the free Go high level accounts inside of the 1%, or get your own. Set up some automations that basically just reaches out to people once they've booked a call, and just make sure that it's automatically set up. And then if you want to do even more due diligence with it, you can also call people once they scheduled or a day before the appointment, maybe even qualify them a bit. Who knows? But the point is that you need to have these touch points before the meeting in order to have more people show up to these meetings, because no-shows, they're annoying. And to actually lower the amount of no-shows that you get, you want to limit the amount of time that people can book ahead. And what this means is you need to limit people from booking weeks ahead or a week ahead. And what we've usually seen is that if we limit people to book within 1 to 3 days maximum, 3 days being the absolute max, then we see that a lot more people are showing up to these calls in general. And now for actually priming yourself to becoming the best salesperson, and also the key components that I've personally used to become this great salesperson, even though we were closing people and even though we were seeing good results, these are the key components that you need to use in order to keep improving yourself. The most important thing is to rewatch yourself selling. And whether that is first touch point over the phone, you need to re-listen to these phone conversations, or if it's recording your sales calls with something like Fathom.video, you need to be able to go in and identify where you go wrong. Even though it's just a small mistake, you can actually go in and you can pinpoint the exact mistake that you made, and then you make sure to improve that for the next meeting. Even though it wasn't a detrimental mistake, it's just something that could improve you as a salesperson. You go in, you review it, and you improve it for the next meeting. And if you keep doing this, you will prime yourself to be such a talented salesperson, and that you won't even make mistakes anymore, because you keep recouping, you keep keeping yourself accountable every step of the way. And then if you do see that you have some critical flaws in the way that you sell, my personal recommendation to you would be focusing on one thing at a time and going for the most important one. Because if you find multiple ones and you're constantly thinking on a sales call that you need to accommodate for all of these mistakes and you can't make them, you're basically going to end up kind of closing yourself off. And that's the last thing that we want on a sales call. So focus on taking one step at a time to make sure that you actually consistently improve, and not only think about all the things that you're doing wrong. Not only will this make it so that you focus on one thing at a time and constantly improve in these things, but it will also make sure that you do it faster, because you're concentrating in one thing and then taking on the next thing after you've conquered that one thing, instead of thinking about everything that you're doing wrong and sort of overwhelming yourself. And if you are just starting out in an industry, or you're just starting out with sales, you also have some great AI apps nowadays where you can go in and simulate a conversation, an AI that will basically just keep firing objections at you and will give you tough decisions and tough scenarios to handle. My suggestion would be asking ChatGPT about sales simulators or closer AIs, where you can go in and actually actively train with an AI instead of having to do role plays with somebody else. But role plays back in the day, it was fun. It was something that could kind of keep you primed and keep you up to date before hopping on sales calls. But yeah, AI can do a great job with it now, and it's going to get you to a point where you can handle objections really seamlessly, and you can get reviews on how you do and such. So yeah, either look into doing some role play where you keep firing objections and getting into tough scenarios with your partner, or you can do it with an AI where you actually go in and train these scenarios. Now, before the actual sale, you need to realize that every step that the lead took before going on a sales call with you was why they are on the sales call. So what you had in your ad, or what you said in the cold DM, or what you had in your funnel where they actually ended up booking the call. You need to make sure that your language and what you tell them on these meetings, they reflect what you've had throughout the whole thing, so you have some sort of consistency. Because if you have inconsistency throughout any place in your funnel, people are going to be confused and they're not going to be able to pinpoint their own objection, and you're just going to be stuck on a meeting kind of answering questions with a prospect that is not really sure if this is something that they need or something that they clicked on. So just make sure that every touch point that you've had with the client, every reflection that they had to make, it's somehow represented every step of the way throughout your whole funnel, and also when you hop on a sales call with them. And then you always want to frame it, especially within AI and automation, you want to frame it as hopping on a call with an expert. Because what this AI phenomenon is to a lot of business owners, it's kind of like a very technical, very scary jump to make. So going on a call, positioning yourself as an expert, and also calling yourself an expert or talk to an expert on the website is something that will actually drive a lot of traffic and will make people a lot more confident going into the call, because they know they're being led by an expert, and that expert being you have to go in and kind of guide them through this whole process. Now, before you let people just schedule a meeting, you need to qualify them on a few different metrics, and Hormozi, he made the BANT qualification, which basically just stands for budget, authority, need, and timing. And these, they have to be checked early just to protect your own time. So what this means is, and you need to basically just check them that they actually have a business, that they have a budget for what you're selling, that they are in fact the decision maker, and that they need this AI to actually go in and fix issues for them. You need to qualify them before you call them. And what this means is you basically just need to go in and you need to qualify them on if they actually have a budget for what you're trying to sell, if you're going to be talking with the decision maker, and if this decision maker in this business, if they have an urgent need for what it is that you're selling, and if the timing is right for them. And often with AI, timing is not going to be an issue at all. Timing is just implementing something that will be cheaper than what they currently have, or help them get more time back than what they currently use. And once you've actually qualified that it won't waste your time to hop on a call with them, a really smart way to book in a call, whether you're using the phone, you're using your DMs, there is a assumptive close to close people on a meeting. And you can ask them, does Tuesday or Wednesday work for you? Or does 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. work for you? This is sort of an assumptive close. It leaves them with two options, and either one leads them to a meeting with you. And in general, this is a great way to book more people in. It just drives them towards a decision. You basically give them two options, but these two options, they lead them straight to you anyways. And then once the time comes for the actual call, a huge thing that you can do is literally spend 5 minutes just researching. You can often even see on their email domain when it says oliver@shiny.ai, just copy in the URL, see what it is that they're doing, and then reference it when you join the meeting. It shows that you did your homework, even though you only spent 5 minutes, and it's going to have people listen to you. It's just going to make sure that it looked like you really did your homework. It's going to set up the call for success. It's going to set the tone for the meeting. You're going to have a way better prospect that's going to be listening and going to be interested. They notice the effort, and it builds more trust immediately. Now, when you have them on the call, imagine just for 1 second that you are going into the doctor's office and you walk in through the door, and you might have a small reference to the weather, where they are located, what time it is, whatever it is. You know, just to break the ice, you might have something like that. But when you go into the doctor's office, the first question he asks you is, why are you here? And that is the perfect question to answer once you've built a little bit of rapport, broken the ice somehow. You ask them why they scheduled the meeting, what made them schedule, what made them interested, however you book them in. Just make sure that they express why they are here. And the next kind of question, just kind of flows naturally, because what you want to do here is you just want to find out where they are hurting. And what I mean by that is not that they actually have a pain. It just means that their business has a pain point. So for example, if I'm a business owner and I get a ton of leads from all of my marketing funds, I come in to you and explain that I have a pain because my business is bleeding money because we're not converting enough leads. And this will basically show me that you have the need of an AI that automatically reaches out to your leads, books more people in, does automatic follow-up. And what your job is here is basically just to keep asking questions to identify this exact pain, why it's happening, and then pitch a solution. It's really, really simple, but the best way to think about it is you don't go through the doctor's door and he just tells you, you need this pill. Because you're not going to trust that, because he hasn't listened to you. He doesn't know what your problem is. Even though all of your sales calls probably sound pretty much the same, and you know exactly what their pain point is just before they walk in the door, this process is extremely important and you cannot skip it, even though it might seem so sometimes. So yeah, the doctor approach is the number one way and the number one reason that we've been able to close all of the deals that we've had. It's just about asking good questions and then giving them a good solution for the exact pain point. Which actually brings me to the next point, and it's about tonality. It's kind of the way that I'm talking to you right now. I'm not really trying to sell you anything. I'm really just your friend, you know? And I think that is the most important thing to realize when you go into sales. It might seem a bit transactional, you know, booking a meeting, talking about services, talking about how to help each other. But really at the end of the day, what you need to go in and do is you need to be their friend. And the more casual you can make the conversation, and really that's what it is. It's just a conversation. You keep it super casual and it seems like a friend to friend conversation. That's how it's supposed to feel like. And what me and Albert, we did in the beginning, which was stupid when you think back about it, is we created a PowerPoint and we kind of made this presentation of what it is that we were selling, and it wasn't converting. It wasn't nice. I ended up talking 80% of the time. They ended up talking 20% of the time. And what you actually want to do is quite the opposite. You want to go for the 80-20 rule, which basically just means that they will be doing the talking 80% of the time and you will be doing the talking 20% of the time by asking questions, showing a case study, and then going from there. A more realistic approach to this is they will most likely be talking 60% of the time and you will be talking 40% of the time, which is also fine. But the main point of this being that they should be doing the talking, they should be the ones expressing their pain points, and you should be spending time showing them a brief demo, showing them a testimonial, and then pitching this as a solution to their exact pain point. And showing a testimonial is going to be infinitely better than anything you can show them on a PowerPoint. And together with a demo, you're basically going to be unbeatable, because it's what it's all about. It's then positioning this demo, showing the testimonial as the demo being applied to an actual business that is in a similar position, and then you go from there. And then the conversation was really only friendly. It was just about finding out what the pain points were, and it was about showing what you've done for other clients, and then going from there. Because at the end of the day, what we just use these questions for is just positioning the offer. It's about finding out if they genuinely need our help, and it's about finding out where they are struggling in their business to see how we can apply ourselves the best way possible. It's never really about the sale, and once you get that mindset of it's never really about the sale, that is when you'll actually start converting more people, because now it's about helping people. It's no longer about selling something or getting a commission. It's really just about helping people, and when people are resistant to the help, it's about finding out why they might be resistant to that help, because who wouldn't want help, especially if you know the product is good. And that is also why we have the testimonial, is because we want to prove that the product works, and we're not trying to implement something that we don't think is working just for a commission. So we really just use these questions to uncover their pain points and then give them a goal and talk about their desires of where they actually want to be. And then we use our solution as the natural answer to their pain points. Simple as that. Now, when you join the actual sales call, you just want to set the agenda and set some clear expectations. What I usually say is, this meeting is basically just going to be figuring out whether we'd actually be a good fit to work together or not. So it's just going to be a couple of questions from my side, and you can feel free to answer any questions that you want on your side. And then if we're a good fit to work together, I'll show how it works, what it looks like, everything like that. So it's really simple. It's just setting all the expectations and, again, being super casual about it. Not sounding salesy is very important. Just Just make it casual, make it friendly. Don't make them watch a PowerPoint or be super formal for no reason, just like me and Albert did in the beginning. And then to break down the call as simply as I possibly can, I've used Hormozi's closer framework, which basically just means CLOSER framework, which stands for clarify why they're here. So first clarify the problem, then label their current state versus their desired state. And then you give them an overview of why they are experiencing this pain, and then also give them the urgency to why they actually need to fix this pain right now with you on this call. And then S, you need to sell the vacation. You need to sell this desired outcome that they need to be moving away from to get that desired result or get that desired outcome that you're talking about on the meeting. And then there is E, which is just explain. So you just need to be explaining your offer, you need to be explaining the outcome, and you need to do it in a relatable manner where it is in their business terms, which basically just means don't get too technical with the AI stuff. Explain what the AI does and why it brings them their desired outcome and how it dissolves their current pain. And then you have R, which is basically just reinforcing what they are asking for on the meeting and how your solution actually sells them that vacation, gives them that desired outcome, and then make the ask for the close. It's an extremely simple framework. It's called the Closer Framework by Alex Hormozi, the GOAT himself, which brings me to the actual closing. And when you make the ask of actually closing somebody to move ahead or collect payment or whatever it is that you're asking people to do, you need to just shut up. You need to ask them, make your ask, and then shut up, see the reaction. A lot of people, they get uncomfortable when there's silence, when people are thinking, because what shutting up will actually do is it will create this space of no one talking while your prospect does the thinking, and they will have to come up with a response. And even though it might seem a bit uncomfortable, this is the best approach to actually getting a prospect to either come up with their objection or actually just moving ahead with your solution. And then if they come up with any questions or any objections, it might be a tense moment, but don't be nervous here, because this is the most important part where you don't want to seem nervous or inconfident, because this moment is kind of vulnerable, especially for the deal itself. Right here, the prospect needs to see that you're extremely professional and that you're going to be able to take their objection and actually handle it. So don't be shocked and take your time to actually respond to the question and be confident in your response. Because what you actually want to do in a situation where they come up with an objection, and I'm going to show you the exact framework that we use to actually handle these objections here in a second, but what you want to do is you want to be able to ask questions about what they said to actually unveil exactly what it is that they actually have the objection about. Because oftentimes people will just kind of say, oh, I don't have time right now, or I don't know if this is a good fit, or something like that, something that's more of like a smokescreen to put up. It's not really the real objection. So what you want to do is you want to be able to ask good questions about the objection. I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it here in a second. Because at the end of the day, it's about really being curious. And I've stressed this in so many of my videos, but being childlike curious on someone's business, on their pain points, on what their desired outcomes are, what results they want to achieve, is the truly best way to get someone to a point where they want to work with you. Being childlike curious. And what I mean by that is, like, you often have a child asking you a bunch of questions about why do you do that, and why do you do this, and how do you do that. And that's basically how you want to keep it. You want to keep it super casual, and you want to ask a bunch of questions to make sure that the prospect feels heard and that you're actually fixing their pain point instead of just pitching them something. Because something you also have to keep in mind is the truth is whoever controls the questions and whoever's the one to ask all the questions are actually the one that controls the conversation. So you're controlling what the conversation is about and also where the conversation is headed. And this is super important for keeping a framework and also to go through sales calls without wasting both parties' time. One thing that is important when you do get these objections is that you don't hard disagree with your prospect, because that will just be bad vibes. And the way that you actually handle this is you redirect the conversation gently, and then you can make whatever point you want. The way we actually peel this onion is just by asking good questions. So if somebody says, I think it's too expensive, then you just say that you think it's too expensive compared to another product or another solution. And then they're gonna be like, no, but it might be too expensive for me because I'm not getting enough traffic, or something along those lines. And then you ask another question and you say, oh, so the amount of traffic you get on your website right now, you don't think it's worth implementing an AI. And then they're going to say, oh, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so are you getting these emails and these leads and these phone calls that we talked about earlier on the meeting? Where do they come from? Do they come from this website? And is that what's taking all of this time? And they're going to say, yeah, it comes from the website. You know, it might come also from Facebook or Instagram or something like that. And then you could say, oh, well, then would it help you if 80% of all of the calls from the website, then also from Facebook and Instagram, if they were just handled by an AI, how much time do you think that's costing you? And they could say, yeah, it would help. I'm probably spending like an hour on it or something like that. And the reason you have this onion is because you need to peel it by asking good questions, not just by impaling it and disagreeing with it, because then you're never going to be closing the sale that way. So you just have to keep asking good questions, understand where they are coming from and where their concern is, so that you can actually go in and directly address these concerns. Like he was originally saying that it's too expensive, but he was actually just in disbelief if this could solve his pain point, because he was getting leads from multiple sources. So it's basically just a way of finding the true disconnect between your solution and what they want, and going in and addressing it in a nice, comfortable way, and helping them make a decision based on information rather than just being disconnected or misunderstanding each other. And now I'll go through some of the strategies that I use throughout the sales meeting to basically just save more time, to address their concerns better, and to overall just be a better salesperson. Just like we had this BANT qualification earlier before they hopped on a call, we actually also use that when we ask questions about salespeople or the support requests that they get. For example, if you are on a call with someone and you're trying to sell them a support AI in their email or on their website, and the first thing that they tell you, or the first thing that you ask them to tell you is, okay, how many website visitors do you get and how many inquiries do you get in your email? And they say, well, I don't have any visitors at all and I don't get any emails. I'd like to get them and it sounds cool that I could have an AI. Then they disqualify themselves on the need. They actually don't need this AI. And of course, they could force you to go in and sell it to them and develop it to them, because maybe they want to be preemptive on some of these things, and that's not a problem. But you need to go in and qualify people on this, and then just be upfront with them. Tell them it might not make sense for us to work together if you don't have any website traffic. And then you could also ask them a question about, have you thought about doing this preemptively for when you get website traffic? And is that why you decided to book the meeting? But this is basically also doing the qualification in a subtle way on the call by just asking about their processes or asking about their current state of the support or the sales. Another strategy that I often use is if somebody hits me with a question that I don't know exactly how to respond to, I need to buy myself a bit of time. And the best thing not to do is get shocked or start saying, and start acting confused. So the best way could be repeating their question back to them to buy yourself more time. So if a prospect asks you, I'm not sure if this AI thing is compliant where I live. And you could say, so you're not sure if the AI is compliant and where do you live? Just all of this talking is not only buying you time in your own mind, now you also have him kind of responding and elaborating on the question. And then he tells you, oh, yeah, I live in Spain. You automatically know that it's GDPR. Maybe you even sort of knew that before he joined the call that he was in Europe. And then you have time to kind of address the situation and make a small list of why the AI actually is compliant, instead of maybe losing the sale right there because this is his main concern and you're unsure or you're not confident in your response when you say it back to him. Even though you might know that it's fully compliant, but when you are shocked or not confident in the response that you give, this might throw him or her off and not move the deal forward. And one of the closes that I like to use is the 1 to 10 close, which basically is just saying, out of everything that we talked about today and everything that I showed you, what would you rate it on a scale from 1 to 10? And then they might respond with an 8, and they might be unsure about something. And you first have them sell you on why they think it's an 8. So you say, well, 8 is pretty good. I would take an 8 any day of the week. And then you ask them, why is it an 8? What do you like about it? And they're going to start listing all of the good things, all of the things that they liked. And then once they've done a bit of selling themselves on what they actually liked about what you showed them and about what you talked about, you ask them what would make it a 10 and what would take it from 8 to 10. And then either they will actually give you the reason that it's not a 10, and that is usually the best prospects because they know what they want. But other people might be not 100% sure about why they're not sure. And one question that I really like to ask here is kind of zooming out on the big picture, right? Like saying phrases like, what do you think the worst outcome could be? Or what scenarios are you running through your head? Or my personal favorite is, what would make it a no? So if you were to continue with the proof of concept, the demo that we want to make for you, or what if we were to continue with the week trial that we were talking about, what would make you regret that decision? Asking that question brings out the objection 99 out of 100 times, and I love it. And you get to that point by asking them this 1 to 10 question, which is a close by Hermosi, so you know it works. But then again, it's all about understanding where any hesitation, any objection, anything stalling them, anything holding them back from actually proceeding, that is all we want to get to the bottom of, just so we can help them make a better decision. And now you understand exactly how you get people to this point where they actually make this informed decision and you can actually sell them something that will help them. And a key component to doing that is also changing your mindset slightly. And the way we really reinforce this is by changing our mindset and our philosophy about the sales call, and also in general about doing business with other people. The first thing that really changed everything for me was realizing that you need to put your prospect and the person first. Because what that will do for you is you're going to be a doctor. You're going to have someone walk in through your door and they're going to talk to you about their pain points, about their hardships in life, and what's really holding them back from becoming this great version of themselves. And you're genuinely going to care. You're genuinely going to be out to help people, and you're going to be there for them. You're not going to be there for you. And I think realizing that you're actually helping people is one of the most important steps of actually overcoming this, not just doing it for a commission or not just doing it to close a sale. You need to make sure that this is something that is closed based on the value that you can provide and the outcome it will actually give to your clients. And then you have the volume negates luck phrase by Hermosi, which is genius. It basically just means that you can put so much volume out there and it will negate any bad script, any bad sales framework, any bad objection handling. If you're going to go on enough sales calls, at some point you're going to have someone say yes to you. And along the way, you're going to get a ton of practice, and you're going to be a lot better at not only selling, but talking to people. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about talking to people. It's about asking questions, finding pain points, and helping people reach the solution of actually solving those pain points. And this is also why if you have bad leads in the beginning, you're just reaching out, you'll take and hop on a call with literally any business. This is not bad. This is the beginning, and someone else's trash is your gold. You're gonna have a lot of repetition in talking to people over the phone, pitching an idea, hopping on a sales call, getting a bunch of objections from these business owners that absolutely hate spending money. And it's going to be fantastic because it's going to give you exactly what you need to advance and get better clients and close more deals and become a better version of yourself. You're not only a better salesperson, but also a better business person, better at identifying pain points and better at positioning your offers. Repetition is going to make you great because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that can't really just be taught. You need to actually go out and get the experience, and repetition and experience and repetition and experience, that is what is going to get you further ahead than anyone else. And that is all of the components that we have used in our 50K a month AI agency to consistently close more clients and have a sales funnel that is successfully operating and getting results and expanding on an ongoing basis, where we are not only succeeding, but we are also improving the funnel, and we're improving as people, and we're constantly learning. And I think at the end of the day, that is really what the goal of all of this will be. It's going to be about creating yourself, helping people along the way, and then becoming a better business person and a better salesperson and a better person. I'm going to be showing you exactly how you should land your first AI client that you can then upsell into further AI services. But right now, it's really just about closing that initial deal where we're going to be providing a lot of value up front so that we gain their trust. We show them how hard we work, how much quality and time we put into the projects so that we can then help them be this internet partner that Albert also keeps talking about, where they can always use you if they want some sort of automation, if people aren't showing up to their appointments, if they want to do any campaigns, if they have any questions about getting more leads or anything along those lines. We just want to be able to show them that we provide value first, because the reason that we're closing them on this free widget and this free website is because we really just want our foot through the door. Because once we have our foot through the door, that is when they trust us to really do some projects for them and where we can actually charge and where we're able to provide more solutions that actually has a bigger impact on their business. The first sales framework that we're going to be going through is the free website sales framework. It starts by setting some clear expectations for what the call is going to be about, and then it goes into asking them about what actually interests them about going on this call. And the reason we do this is because this is the first step of actually starting to sell something to themselves, because what this question actually does, it tells you the exact reason that they're actually interested in this website. So maybe they thought about getting a website done, maybe it was too expensive before, maybe they just didn't know how to do it. Whatever it is, there's a reason that they're on the call now, and you should use that to your advantage. And just them explaining the reason that they're on the call, they're actually already selling themselves on the website itself. You tell them, as you know, I created a free website in exchange for a testimonial. The point of the website is to look more trustworthy and professional online. This is the exact outcome that a website will give them. And this is also how we sell throughout all of our upsells, all of our solutions, is we always position it against the outcome. We never talk about, oh, it's going to be up 24/7. People are going to be able to click on some boxes in there. They're going to be able to do bookings. And selling outcomes is something that we do throughout our entire AI agency. Whatever the solution is, whoever the client is, we always position the outcomes rather than the features. The difference between selling a feature and selling an outcome is saying your website is going to be up 24/7. That is a feature. Then an outcome is saying your website is going to make your business look a lot more trustworthy, and people are going to be able to book automatically on the site. Now, the framework goes down to ask some questions, and this is usually just to get a little bit more information about who we are dealing with so that we can actually understand and ask better questions. So, who is your main customer? What are you selling the most of? How are people finding your business right now? And what have you tried to get more customers? Do you think it could help having a website to more people finding your business? The reason we ask this question is because it's a need generating question. When you ask them if they think that a business could help them get more clients, if they say yes to this, they are already enforcing that a website can really make an impact. So instead of you telling them that a website can get you more clients and them having to believe it, they now enforce themselves in that belief that a website can bring them more clients, which is infinitely more powerful than you just saying it to them as a statement. Then we explain to them that we made the demo, we can always improve it, and it will answer people's questions, handle objection, and make it easy for people to contact them. And then we're actually going to do the live walkthrough of the demo, which was the one that we just made before, where we're going to be showing their website layout in the background. Then we are going to walk them through a live demo of the website where you took some of the information that they gave you on the call, you maybe found something on their Facebook, and you implemented it onto the website. You're going to be showing them how it looks, so the whole website layout. If they had a shitty website before, or if they had a Facebook profile or something like that, then you can show a before and after, and they can really see the difference. Then you go over all of the conversion features. And what this means is basically just whatever you put on the website to ensure that people are more likely to go with their company. It could be something like social proof showing their Google reviews. It could be specific info like their pricing, or it could be a CTA button like contact here and them automatically calling them on their phone. And then the way that we get their honest opinion on the website is we ask them to rate the website from 1 to 10. If they say under 10, then we ask them what could possibly make it a 10. So if they say that they don't really like the colors or that the pictures are not them, then that is the exact objection. They don't think that it aligns with their brand or that they will actually be able to get bookings. So then you can always tell them right here. So if we were able to put in some pictures, maybe some that you took yourself, and change the colors to fit more with your brand, would that make it a 10? Which is basically like asking them, if we fix this, will you implement this website, and do you want it? So then if they say it's 10 or they say yes to what we just asked them, then we tell them that we can either set it up for them or we can send it to them so that they can get it up and running themselves. And then we ask, what do you prefer? And this is our way of closing them. So we have two different scenarios here. Either they ask you about sending it over, which really means that they are a bit skeptical about what you setting it up means and if there's going to be any charges. And then we use that opportunity to actually explain it to them that it's not that dangerous anyways. Or there's a scenario where they say, you just set it up for me. And then you explain how it works. This is a really smooth way to close them and position your offer in a really non-salesy way, which is exactly what we want and what actually increases the conversion rate of this sales call. Then we have a little bit of objection handling here. We make a special offer so that they can say yes now. The offer is saying that we pay for the hosting for 3 months. We don't really pay for hosting because you can just host it through Go High Level that you either pay for or you get for free through us. And all they would need to do is get their domain, which they want to buy because that is going to be their own name, basically like a username on the website. So basically just explaining that offer to them, making it a no-brainer that they can try it for 3 months without paying for anything else than a domain, and then making a decision if it's worth keeping or not. Once you have the confirmation that they want to proceed, you're going to send them the $29 a month payment link or the first invoice, and then you tell them that you're going to be implementing these changes that they asked for, or you can tell them that you're instantly going to set up this call to actually help them set everything up. And then we explain to them that we need to get a domain. It's basically like the website name representing you on Google. I can help you get one. They're usually around $10. And that's also what the call is going to be for. What I would suggest right here is that you look at their business name, you go on Namecheap and GoDaddy, and you ask ChatGPT maybe also to come up with domain names that fit with their business, come up with 5 or so, and then bring it to them on the call. Make sure it's relatively cheap, because what that does, it just decreases the friction that it takes for them to actually make a decision on what kind of domain to get and how to get it. So you just help them buy a domain that you suggest that looks clean and is for their business and has their business name in it. And then you get access to their profile, and then you start setting it up for them. And then we have a really similar sales framework for the widget. The only difference here is that we have created a demo and created them a free AI widget in exchange for a testimonial. The goal with the widget is to help you convert more website visitors by answering questions and booking more leads automatically. We ask them the same questions to understand who their customers are, but we ask them a different questions to create the need. In here, we ask them, do you ever miss out on customers because you're not responding fast enough? Because if they ever miss phone calls or are too long to respond to text in these industries, usually that leads to people going elsewhere, going to the competitors. And then when they confirm that they are either missing calls, slow at responding text, and they have people going to competitors, we ask them, do you think having an assistant that can answer questions, handle objections, and book leads could help you get more out of your website traffic? Because what this does, it creates the need for the website widget when they respond. Then we go straight into the live demo, and we just make sure that they understand that this is just a demo, that it will be improved further. And then you walk them through the live widget. You show them the widget responses, and you put in the website in their background like I showed you. And then you put in their website where it can now handle FAQs. You can put in some objections. You can also book in calls. You basically want to prepare some questions that actually shows the capabilities of the widget. And then you can always let them try it after also just to see it. And then once you've shown it, you use the 1 to 10 close framework. It's the exact same like I just explained to you with the website widget. Usually if they say it's below 10, their exact objection comes out, and you can tell them that if you were to fix this within the AI widget, would they go ahead and implement it on their website? That's basically what we're asking them. And then for the close, it's the exact same smooth close. We're telling them that we built the AI using Build My Agent, and they'll need something similar to run it. If they already have it, you could just send over the prompt. If not, I'm paying for it so I can host it for you and keep it running for just $29 a month. That way you don't need to buy anything extra. You just be quiet here, wait for a response, and then see what they say. And then if they want you to set it up, just say, yeah, I can totally do that. I built the website widget for free, but the hosting always has a small cost. If you cover the $29 a month, I'll handle the setup and keep it updated as well. It's a no-brainer. And then if they are a bit resistant here, you also have the backup offer where you can say, no worries at all. If you want, I can cover the hosting for the first 3 months. All you need to have is a website where I can add it. Then you get to see if it brings in any leads. And after 3 months, you can decide if it's worth keeping. It's a super fair offer. It's $29 to host, and you're going to be covering that for 3 months, which means that they have a ton of time to actually set up and see if this widget has any impact. And then they freely get to make a decision whether to keep it or not. And this offer won't affect your ability to upsell them at all, because we're still going to be implementing a framework that I'm going to be showing you in one of the next videos, where you can actually consistently upsell the clients. And then you send the payment link, and if they had any objections or any requirements for the AI, make sure that you mention that you're going to be updating it. And then you can ask them to either set up a new meeting, or if they are available for the next 30 minutes to actually set it up. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the framework that we use to upsell all of our clients and the way that you'll be able to upsell that $29 client into an actual paying client. And the way that we do that is we implement a framework that I call the check-in framework. The check-in framework is basically setting up a meeting every 7 days with your client where you have a check-in to make sure that their website or their widget is running, that there's no issues. And once they are happy, this will help you keep on the clients for a longer period of time because they won't churn, because you're actively asking them if everything is okay. And if 1 week something is not okay, you have the opportunity to instantly fix it instead of the client being annoyed about it and then churning at some point. And then on weeks where your client is super happy with everything and there's no need to change or update anything, you're going to be having small, normal, super casual conversations with them about their sales process. You can ask them if they miss any calls during the week. That's how you upsell them into voice AI or SMS AIs. Basically just starting a conversation around some of these subjects where you can actually go in and improve their process with automations and AI. And what you should do is you should head all the way back until day 5, where you do niche research, and you're going to be taking your industry and your prompt, head over to ChatGPT, copy in the prompt, and then put in your industry. And here you're going to get an exact pain point list of how AI can positively impact their business and get them better results. So you can start conversations around the chatbot for their SMS, their WhatsApp, their social media, wherever it is that they get the most amount of inquiries. And the way you want to start these conversations is just like you learned in the sales training. You want to go in there like a doctor. You want to ask them if they have a pain point, how long they've been having it, what they tried to fix it, and then really having genuine conversation and being genuinely curious. That way they create the need for the solution that you're going to be selling to them themselves, and then you can implement it for them. We've made a list of how to build all of the AIs and how to sell them inside of the 1%. So if that makes sense for you, you can go in and check that out, or you can have some of these casual conversations with the business owners and then try to implement them yourself. But this is how you go from the $29 to charging $150 a month or $300 a month for some of these solutions. And you can do this multiple times with the same clients to actually get your MRR, which is your monthly recurring revenue, get it up to 1K, 2K, or 3K, so that you can start running ads and actively investing into your business. I'm going to be giving you one of the highest yielding strategies that you could be using for your AI agency and pretty much anything that you do in life at this point. Referrals, they tend to have a higher lifetime value, which basically just means that they stay with you for longer, they spend money faster, and they have overall more trust in you. And the way that you can get your referrals to compound to other referrals is nothing like ads, because ads, they are scaling linearly, but referrals, they don't scale linearly, because they scale quadratically. It means that when you get one referral, that turns into 2 clients. And then when you get that referral, he turns into 4 clients. And those 4 clients all refer one person, it turns into 8 clients. So it's scaled and it compounds in a whole different way than what your ads does or what your outreach then normally do. The most important thing in getting referrals is you have to have a pretty damn solid product, meaning onboarding, setting clear expectations, delivering a good service, and delivering good results. Because what you need to consider is that if they have to go out and pitch for you and get a referral for you, their ass is on the line. And that means they are risking their reputation, they're risking a bit of disappointment, they're risking looking a little bit foolish if it all goes bad. So you need to set some really clear expectations, and you need to be delivering some really good results at the same time, which is also essential when it comes to actually asking for the referral. To have the highest likelihood of somebody referring, you want to be asking people to refer at good times. This could be after a really successful onboarding. It could be right after hitting the first result, when you get to new milestones, or even after you fix issues really fast and you see your client happy. We want to catch them at these high pitch moments, because at the end of the day, when they are happy, they're going to want to tell someone about it. So it might sound really simple, but you have to make these asks at high pitch moments when their goodwill will be high. And goodwill basically just means that when you just did them a favor, or when they just saw a really good result, or when they're really happy, that is when they have goodwill. That's when they actually want to help you. They want to give you back. That's how people work. When somebody gives us something, when we're happy, we want to give something back. That is just how we work. And when you ask, it's really important that you distinguish between who not how. And when it comes to how to actually ask, it's really important that you distinguish between who and not if. And what I mean by this, there is always two ways to ask a question like this. And either you sit down and you ask them, who do you know that could use this? It puts them in a position where they have to really think about, who do I know? Because if you ask the question a little bit differently and you go for a question like, do you know somebody? You're asking if they know somebody. You're not asking who, you're asking if. And it's a very easy way to make a conclusion when you're asked, do you know anybody that could use this? You could say no. But when I ask you, who do you know that could actually use this? You start thinking. So we need the client in a state of mind where they have the goodwill, that they want to help you, and then you want to ask, who do you know? Because they're going to think about who they know. They're going to start about thinking, who can I actually give this pitch to and who could actually benefit from this, and not just leaving you with a no, because quite frankly, that is the easiest option for them. And there's two very important things when it comes to actually how to ask this. You want to position it in a way where you make it about their success. There was a study done that showed that people that were in something together, that referred each other to something, had way higher success. It could be that two people that referred each other, they compare the results that they get, they are more committed to the project. There's multiple ways where you can actually go in and make it about their success so that their campaigns will be better. They can compare it with their friends and they all get better results. And then you also want to make it about actually helping a friend, because if they see great results with what you're providing and they are a good friend, of course, they would want to help their friends in need. So make it about their own success and also make it about helping their friend. Those are two very key points when you are asking for somebody to refer you to somebody else. And now you have multiple ways of what to actually give the referral, because we are also transactional. I think everybody, they like a bit of motivation, and at the end of the day, it's not really bad. Just make sure that everyone is rewarded in a situation like this. So what you want to go for is two-sided rewards. And you could do this by making sure that your client gets something and that their friends get something too. And for example, this could be saying, if you refer a friend, I will give you your next AI for free, and I will be setting up your friend with the initial AI to book appointments, sell more products, whatever it is that their friend will be dealing with. Make sure that they both get something. It could also be your client gets a credit towards their appointments or towards their AI subscription with you, and their friend, they get a discount off their initial AI or a free AI. Anything like that, something that rewards both sides, is something that is really important when you actually do these referral deals. And then it's important that they get something upfront, something valuable, something that relates to cash or something that they really want. They get it upfront when they successfully refer someone. I think one of the biggest mistakes that Albert and I made in our referral journey is that we were only giving percentage of revenue, which means that they would have to make the referral, we would have to onboard them, we'd have to launch the campaign, and we'd have to be successful in everything that we do, which oftentimes just made it look a bit unattractive, because if they referred someone, it might even take a few weeks or a month before they got anything in return, and what they got in return might be low, might be high. They couldn't really see the ROI in helping us, and that was a problem. So giving them something upfront, which could either be credits, it could be discounts, it could be a gift card, it could be something that they want if they want another AI or if they want to run a different campaign. Give them some appointments, give them some discount. It's not going to hurt you at the end of the day, and if you get a referral from it, it's totally worth it. And something else that you can add to this is you could tell them that if they bring on a referral within the next 14 days, the next 20 days, or 30 days, this is when they can unlock this bonus. So putting a time frame on it, making it limited, will also create some urgency. And you could also see some success with people that are not usually urgently doing something. They like the idea, but they're not going to do it. So actually adding this limited time offer for both of them to get a free AI or both of them to get a discount and some credit, that is also another way where you can actually go in and make sure that this gets done in a timely manner and it doesn't just get pushed away all the time. Because we've had clients that said, yeah, I have a few people I can introduce you to, let's talk about it on the next meeting, and then I'm going to see them next month. And All of these things, it's something that pushes timelines back, and you can avoid that by making sure that you have some limited time offers for them. And lastly, you have to consider that there will be some sort of friction. They have to go out of their way to help you with this. So you have to be able to make this as frictionless as humanly possible. And this means that you give them some material, you give them some text, you give them a small pitch, give them something in writing, give them an email template. Whatever it is, just give them something to forward either on text or on email to make it effortless on their end, so they don't need to reinvent anything, and they can really just send this over and then you take it from there. And that also brings me to the next thing. You can often just ask for contact information or three-way introductions. The best thing that you can ask for is a three-way introduction where you get added into a WhatsApp group or you get CC'd on an email thread. Anything like that will make sure that you can actually take the responsibility on you to make sure that you follow up, that you answer any questions that they might have, so that they don't need to ask each other these questions and there might be some uncertainty. And again, friction will stop people from moving forward or doing something for you. So the more responsibility that you can put on yourself, the higher likeliness of success you will see. So get them to create a group chat, get a three-way introduction, make some material, something that they can send, something they can forward to the referral. So yeah, referrals are one of the highest ROI growth channels in your business. They spend more, they cost you less, they stay longer. It's a win-win situation for everybody. And if you're able to nail this strategy, your business should technically be able to grow forever. So all you have to do is deliver a win and then make your ask at an appropriate time where the client has goodwill and wants to help you. And then you want to make sure that you give something that is truly valuable to both parties, both your client and their friend, and then make sure to make it effortless for your client by setting up a three-way introduction or giving them some ready to send material that they can text or that they can forward to their friend. And then you should have two really happy people that you can interact with, and hopefully you'll get a lot more clients using this strategy. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to get really good testimonials that you can use on your website. You can send it to potential clients and you can use them to get more clients. We do this by making interview style testimonials that I call clip farms. And the way that we do this is we ask them really good questions like, what was the biggest concern you had about partnering with me? Then having them answer it. Then what is your super honest opinion about the website I made? And then having them answer that. That way people get really engaged by hearing these questions being answered, and you can set them up on your website and people will really talk towards the main objections that people usually have, like setting up a free website. Maybe it's just bad, or maybe there's a catch. And what was the biggest concern? Oh, I thought the AI was going to be extremely bad or sound really robotic or just scare my customers away. Things like that are what actually converts people. Hearing from other business owners that your AIs are good and they don't scare their customers away is a huge win, which you're going to be utilizing by putting it up on your website and by sending it around. And this is how you advance and you're actually able to charge more for your services because you have social proof. And you can implement this into the check-in strategy. So if you already talked to them about a referral last week and already talked to them about a different AI solution, you could, on the third week, you could talk to them about doing a testimonial. And this is just one of the reasons that the check-in framework is really good. It keeps you in touch with your clients. It makes you able to get referrals, get testimonials, and also upsell services. Now that you've gone through day 7, just want to wish you really good luck on the check-ins with your clients. And I'm sure that you're going to be able to get your referrals, upsell them into other services, and also get a testimonial. Good luck.
Congratulations, you made it to the end. Only 10% of people that actually start a challenge like this end up finishing it. You are one of 10, and I'm so proud of you. I really hope that you found this 7-day challenge valuable. We have poured our heart and soul into making it as concise and valuable at the same time. The most important thing is that you now go out and actually use the things that you have been taught. Otherwise, all of this time that you have spent learning these things would be wasted. It can be very stressful, especially if you just signed up for the 30-day free trial to go high level and you now have a $97 a month payment coming up. I know, at least when I started out, that I was very stressed about these go high level payments. I want to remind you that you can always switch to the 1%. where you get all of the software that you need included in the subscription. You get the unlimited or high-level sub-accounts, which is usually the biggest expense for most, and you also get the only 30-day free trial to Build My Agent that exists. The entire reason that we created the 1% is to make it more affordable to start by taking every subscription needed and just combining it. And we even help you take the sub account that you have right now on Go High Level and transfer it over to the 1% free sub accounts, so you won't lose any progress. And the best thing is that we actually have another challenge going on right now, the 30-day challenge. So if you like this one, the 30-day challenge is very similar. And now comes the best part. If you stay committed to the 30-day challenge and you finish it just like you finished this one, then you get the first month of the standard plan completely refunded. And on top of that, you can also get more help from Oliver and I. So if you can continue being committed like you have been so far, then you actually get to join completely for free, try everything out risk-free for an entire month. I will warn you though that the price is increasing and it continues to go up. But of course, if you join, then you log in that price, then it doesn't go up for you later on. If you have any questions before joining, then make sure to first check out the video. I'll drop a link right below this video that explains in more detail about what the 30-day challenge actually is. And if you still have questions, then you're always welcome to shoot me a school DM, and then either me or the team will help you out. And I look forward to watching you succeed from the sidelines.